So on our days off, if we're there for 15 days, we actually get to go to the water parks on our days off. It's gonna be awesome. Have so much fun. Disney's gonna make so much money off of me. They do. Yeah, that's the best part. That's the best part. You just sit in the lazy river for like
That's all you do.
3 hours.
One time we had to meet someone in the lazy river, but we just never met them because it just goes in circles. It was like hours. It's like, where are they?
Right. We have people coming in. Let's see here.
What's up, y'all?
Who we got here? Rev, Jeremy, Sarah, Paul, Todd. Right. Why don't we go to our faces and we'll get started here. There we go. Looks like everything's up and running. Hey, everybody. Rev. It's weird. Rev's comment didn't come in as first. That's funny. It didn't come in the thing. Looks like we're good to go here. Rev, I loved your render yesterday, by the way. I thought it was really good.
Which one was it? Which was that one?
This is daily yesterday.
No, it says daily.
Yeah. All right. Looks like we got people filing in here. And there's Kevin.
Kevin Rupp.
K-Rupp.
Kevin, we're booking that Airbnb probably sometime this week. I'll let you know.
Matt just does all his business over live stream now.
Jeremy, thank you for filling out your flight information. We'll get that flight booked as soon as possible.
That's hilarious. All right, looks like we're good. Everybody has their audition running, correct?
Test.
I'm going to test mine. Test. Yes, we're good. Yep, okay, it's working. I am going to start recording, if y'all would like to start recording.
I am rolling as well.
I am also rolling. Are you rolling, Rachel?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're going to do a sync clap, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, clap, all right? Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, that was completely off.
It works.
Maybe by audio.
No,
but
okay.
You're fine.
In the ether, in time, it works. In audio and Skype, it's off.
Patrick, what's going on, Patrick?
Wait, what?
Look, my brother-in-law's in the chat.
Where?
He's on Twitch.
Oh, he's on Twitch.
Yeah.
Oh, Twitch.
Twitch.
Cool. Cool. Well, I think we're up and running, and we're recording, and yeah, I think we're ready to do a show. One thing, hopefully it doesn't rain. You know what I didn't think about when I saw this new air conditioner over here? It sticks out the window, and so when rain hits, it's really loud. So I might have to buy an awning. Yeah.
Oh,
I'll make an awning that's a helicopter pad for my drone right above it outside.
Right.
So yeah.
That's funny.
It's supposed to rain all week.
We installed last year. We installed some we extended our patio with cement. We didn't realize how loud it was going to be when the rain hit. You know. It's like deafening in comparison to just grass.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, because our bedroom is right next to it.
Fitting to build a patio cover.
Yeah.
So I'm not going with metal for that reason. Going with shingle.
Yeah. Right.
Thanks,
Jeff,
thanks, people, for my patio cover.
Right. Thanks, people, for my pool.
Right. Gosh,
Oh my gosh.
that freaking guy has changed some lives, I'll tell you that. All right. Let's see. I got my notes. I think we're good to go. I think we know what we're doing. I got my phone muted, and we're going to start a show. Everybody good? You feeling good?
Don't spam me on LinkedIn. Come on, people. I don't even use LinkedIn.
Congratulations on your work anniversary.
Yeah, right?
Okay. Oh, yeah, I was out celebrating. Sorry, I didn't get it. Who cares about a work anniversary?
I don't
know. Okay. Either you don't... Sorry, I'm ranting. Either you don't care because you're your own boss, and
Yeah.
you just love what you do, or you're working for the man and you hate it, and you're being reminded that you've been somewhere for 6 years.
Right.
Like,
congratulations.
Yeah.
You've thrown 6 years of your life away.
right. All right, here we go. All
All
right. What's up, and welcome to another Mograph Mocast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt, and joining us today is the super talented Rachel Brickel.
And Mograph is a supplement to our site, mograph.com, which is a motion graphics tutorial site with tutorials, plugins, podcasts, and other Mograph stuff. And on the show, we talk about everything ranging from motion graphics to Cinema 4D, After Effects, plugins, render engines, doing business, doing taxes, being a contractor, or working for the man. You can email us info@mograph.com. Let us know what you think about the show. Questions, comments, concerns, queries, grievances, show topic ideas. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, mograph.com, and TikTok, of course. Check us out on there. Check us out on the things. If you'd like to send us an email, you can ask us a question about all sorts of stuff. It could be a tech question. It could be Cinema 4D, After Effects, compositing. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's noob, if it's expert, we're going to answer it all. We're going to try and answer the expert stuff, but I can't guarantee anything, because we're not that good. So if you send us an email, then we talk about the stuff you want to hear about. That's the thing. That's the thing. This is your show. You're the producer.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I read a book one time that said basically if you do not, if you interact, the internet is what you want it to be.
That's right.
So if you interact with it, it becomes the thing that you want. If you don't interact, this is just our show.
Is that The Secret? Did you read The Secret?
No.
Is that why?
No.
Okay.
This was actually a good educational book that I read in college.
This is actually something good. That's good.
Right.
Yeah.
Not a bunch of BS
Yeah.
hooey.
Yeah.
If you believe in The Secret, whatever. But
No,
The
because I can
Secret's
tell you
bullshit.
about a whole offline shenanigans that I got into with
oh my
the owner.
gosh, Kevin.
But what is
Kevin just hit me up on LinkedIn.
Oh, that's funny. Congratulate him on his work anniversary. Yeah.
Oh, it's funny. Oh, Kevin, I love you.
Rachel, you're okay. So you're allowed to say hi at least
Yeah.
during our
Well,
intro
I was
segment.
Because you were like, oh yeah, we're gonna introduce you. You gotta shut up right now, and then you'll be fine later.
Yeah. We're gonna dive into the topics pretty quick today. I think we got some really fun stuff to talk about. This is gonna be a great show. It's gonna be. Like I said in the promo, I'm a little scared. We'll see what props you brought today. Do you already have one? Do you already have a prop, or are you waiting?
Well, I'm waiting for the right moment, but
Okay.
I want you to lower your guard.
Okay, cool.
I'm just
Cool.
gonna keep reaching for something, and it's not gonna
Yeah.
be a problem, so I can throw you off.
It's a gun, isn't it?
It's a gun.
Well, I do. Well, I don't know if I should talk about
Oh,
that.
boy.
on the
Oh
internet.
boy.
Oh, boy.
You don't want people to know. That's the thing about guns. You don't want people to know if you
Yeah,
have
talk
one or
about that.
don't. That's the mystery.
Yeah. My
I got multiple weapons.
Yeah.
yeah.
You won't even know.
See, really,
Hopefully.
all you need is sound effects. So you could
Yeah.
say
Shotgun sound effect.
exactly. You need a shotgun sound effect. You know.
Can-
Well, I like to
Yeah.
have so I'll have something I'll have a real axe, but then I'll have a fake axe, and then I'll want to put them
Oh.
next to each other. You know what I mean? You'll have different things that are fake next to the real one.
like a rubber axe.
Yeah, no wooden axe. It's a wooden axe, but it's not sharp.
Like a fake.
Okay.
Okay, a fake
So
wooden
a
one. Okay.
dull axe.
Yeah,
A dull
yeah,
axe.
Just hit someone with a real axe.
Then you have the real gun, but you have the fake gun,
Right.
but they look completely different, so it's okay.
Okay, that makes sense. The Nerf
All right,
gun.
I'm with you.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
got a couple things to cover for the week wrap up real quick. First of all, I was on vacation and it was awesome. Got to see Colorado in all its glory and go up the many dangerous roads in a really heavy RV. There was one point I had my foot on the floor and I was going 30 up a hill and I was like, I hope we don't go backwards. But
If it makes you feel better, I did that exact same thing in a Ford Focus and had my foot to the floor the
Oh
whole
my
time
God.
too.
or there's that whatever car that was we rented in Iceland that just did not
Yeah.
go. It was like driving a
It
riding
was like
lawnmower.
a tiny bus. It was
Yeah.
so stupid.
Do you like to personify your car and make noises for it, be the voice for your car?
I do.
I don't do no, not for my car. Maybe not now. I used to. I don't even. I haven't even named this car. This new
Oh.
car. The
You're
old
not
one.
attached.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not an
I don't know.
extension of you.
Yeah. I've had. Well, the thing is, so my last car, its name was Buzz because my first Jeep was called Woody. You know. And so this Jeep was called Buzz, but then I traded it in for basically the exact same model, just with a 4-door instead of a 2-door. So in a way, it's almost like Buzz with the utility belt. I don't know.
You could name your new one Nimbus.
He'll never be the original.
Mr. Nimbus?
Mr. Nimbus?
No, that's my computer.
Oh, yeah.
That's my computer.
He controls the
He
police.
controls the police.
New Rick and Morty's out. Everybody check it out.
New
It's
Rick and
pretty good.
Morty's out. Go on.
So we went and saw the Aryevs, and while we were up there, it was awesome. We went to the sand dunes and with the Aryevs, and then went to their place to hang out with some local
Isn't it
Colorado
beautiful?
Mographers. It's beautiful. I love
Dude,
the
their
basement.
house is-
I had an
yeah.
idea. So I think he wants to move his studio downstairs. So I was driving
Yeah.
back, and I was like, we should do like Pimp My Studio, and do like a whole video where, because he keeps saying he needs me to like help him design a studio,
Yeah.
like downstairs.
Yeah.
I'm like, we should do Pimp My Studio, and we'll just do like a whole spoof video where we're designing his studio, and just make it as ridiculous as possible. Just in my spare time, I'll just go up there and do that. So no, it was great. We had we had a barbecue. We hung out with so many Mographers in Colorado. I couldn't believe, like, I was starting to get a list together. We were like, who's around there that we can hang out with? And like, there's a lot of Mographers up there.
A lot of people in Denver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So got to hang out with all our old friends, and it was just so surreal to be back out, kind of like in the real world again. You know, this is the first venture
It's amazing.
out. You know, so
Dude, Camp Mograph's going to be amazing.
yes. Speaking
Can't
of which, let's get some Camp Mograph updates here.
You still have more week wrap up?
The only
or should
other
we go
well,
straight?
the only other thing I was gonna say, I guess, is, did you ever? This is like stoner thoughts, shower thoughts, whatever you want to call them. When you were a kid, if you went on a vacation or you left the house for a while, when you came back, did it ever feel like the house was different?
Yeah.
Like your house
Every time.
the dimensions felt
like
weird.
haunted different.
Like you come
a ghost
home and
moved in?
it just felt like your perception of what the house was a little off. Like things looked smaller or bigger, or it just felt weird because you had been gone for so long.
Well,
Yeah.
one time I went for like a month to like Japan, which was amazing. Or not a month. Sorry, it was like 14 days, and it was like 6 days in Japan, like 10 days in Bali. And I came back to my apartment, and I was like, oh, I have this really great green tea. I want to try it. And then I turned on my water, and then for some reason everything tasted like bleach or like chlorine. And I was like, so I guess like your house, like if you don't run your water the whole time that you're, like if the water's never running when you're gone, like
Uh-huh.
it can build up in the pipes, the chlorine or whatever
That
it
makes
is. I don't
sense,
know.
though.
This apartment sucks. But yeah, so some things can change.
It's weird because like I've been traveling for so many years that I think what happened was that I was back and forth to the house so many times that I never felt that feeling like you had been gone from somewhere and it felt different. And when we got back from this vacation, it was different. The house felt different. Things looked weird. It was like I was getting used to, it's like I'd been in the house
The
for
Matrix
was so long.
was updated when you left.
That's true.
So that your house.
Higher res.
Sorry, someone's gonna take me away and replace me with someone else because I just
Yeah.
let that secret out.
Bill asks, any Casa Bonita adventures?
Yeah.
And
Y'all want to hear Dave's story about?
I
Casa
thought- I think
Bonita?
I've
Because
told
he
about-
hates-
Oh,
I'm pretty sure you have.
I've told this story before. I went to
Yeah.
the hospital with food poisoning from Casa Bonita. So,
Yeah.
you know.
When we
that
were in
was-
Vegas, or
I knew it.
What?
I knew props were coming.
Is this the wrong time for this?
Now, which Instagram filter is that? Is that Snapchat?
I'm in Hawaii
Or
now.
is, oh, okay. Man, it's so realistic. Like the tracking on the glasses,
Right,
especially,
tracking's
is really good. Oh man, we got album art now. This is
Yeah.
this is perfect. This is a perfect album art. Oh man, that's awesome. See, now you need like the Zoom background.
yeah.
You need the Zoom
I actually-
background where.
I actually have like a island backdrop, but it was like too much work to set it up. So like I could have been all out. I'm pretty disappointed that I didn't do that, but
Do you have camp clothing for our camp segment? We can talk about camp.
No.
Oh, dang.
I wasn't prepared.
Okay.
All right, we'll pretend that camp is in Hawaii for now.
Right.
Yeah. Matt, yeah, that's all I had though. Matt, you've got some updates on camp because I think people had some questions, right? Like about
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So jumping over to Camp Mograph stuff, we're super excited, super excited. We've been working last week I worked on camp stuff, getting stuff prepared. Super exciting. Like going through this and figuring out what we need and seeing everyone who's coming and moving some stuff around, and we got some surprise stuff that we're not going to announce.
I can't.
until camp. Yeah, it's going to be so much fun. So
The surprise stuff is great.
Yeah, we're starting to book flights and everything, and I know a lot of people who are going to camp are also booking flights as well. For those who are curious, we're getting a lot of questions about what time should we come in, what time should we leave, blah, blah, blah. So what we are planning on doing, what we'd recommend is, coming in sometime around noon or so on the 9th, that Thursday. I believe that's Thursday, yeah. Thursday, and then we're closing down camp at noon on that Sunday. So, basically noon to noon. If you come in a little bit earlier on the 9th, no biggie, just let us know. We're going to be sending out a questionnaire and everything to get shuttle times and stuff like that, because we know there's a lot of people who are wanting to use a shuttle, and we've got to build the shuttle schedule based off of when
Right.
Everyone is coming in. So we don't have a shuttle schedule built yet, because we don't want to just say, oh, it's coming every 30 minutes or so, which may be the case on the days that everyone's coming in. We're talking about getting a second shuttle so that we can have one constantly going.
Right.
But we won't know until we get everyone's answers back.
So yeah.
So look out for that email if you are coming to camp and everything.
When is that going out? Because I know some people probably don't have flights yet.
It'll probably be this week. It'll
Okay.
be this week, and then if you ever need to update it, in that email will be a link of where you can fill out the shuttle information, and that automatically gets updated to us so
Yeah.
that we can make the schedule based off of that.
Yeah.
So super excited about camp. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be the first real big, get together for all of us. And I've started we've been talking to the teachers and seeing what they've got planned, and some of the stuff that people are planning is going to be so much fun. I can't wait. So we couldn't have done any of camp without any of our amazing sponsors, and we just picked up a new sponsor this past couple weeks, De Facto Sound. We're super excited to have them on board as a gold sponsor. They'll be sending one of their people so that we can talk to them and stuff. We're super excited about having De Facto Sound on board with us as well. Thank you so much for sponsoring. As far as the rest of our sponsors, we have our village sponsors, Maxon, Otoy, and Video Copilot. Super excited to have them on as our village sponsors. Our gold sponsors, Minimal Massive, Grayscale Gorilla, and now De Facto Sound. Thank you so much for sponsoring the gold level. And then our bronze level, AE Scripts and School Emotion. Super excited to have everyone on board. All of our sponsors, give them a big shout out if you're going to Camp Mograph, and sell them. Thank you for keeping my tickets cheap and basically providing me with unlimited alcohol.
Yeah,
for the next
right.
further
Exactly.
days.
Exactly.
I mean, there's not many places that you can get an all expense paid trip, or whatever.
Unlimited alcohol asterisk.
Yeah. Right. Asterisks.
Yeah.
So the alcohol doesn't start at 9 a.m. and basically go until the end of camp. There are specific times in which we tap the kegs and everything.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
And
so much
these
fun.
are licensed people serving who are giving it to you, so you cannot
And it's
you
not
can't
just gonna
literally
be
have
an
as many
open
as you want.
keg.
Yeah.
That is one stipulation
Yeah.
with this camp, is that we have to have licensed people serving the alcohol. So me, Dave, Julie. I think Scott is going to get
I think
licensed as well. Jeremy may,
So it was at the other camp we needed the license, but it was kind of loose with the keg. This is going to be a little more strict, so please.
This will be a little bit more strict.
Yeah.
So but it'll be fine.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a really good time, and then I'm contacting them to see if they have ping pong tables.
Yes, because we got to do that thing Paul taught us.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking. Like, if we could purchase, like, if they don't,
We'll
we
buy
may
one.
just end up buying a couple of ping pong tables and then just donating them to the camp afterwards, and then just buying a bunch of like paddles and stuff so we can do the round robin style with the ping pong.
That's so much
which
fun.
would be awesome. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Super excited about camp. For those, if there's anyone on the wait list, we may be opening up a few more tickets. We've had some things shift around, and I know there are maybe like 1 or 2 available, but we won't know closer until like maybe a month before camp. That's when we're gonna like close off everything and like, finalize everything.
It's
So
hard.
if you're on that list, just know there may be a chance. It's going to be a small chance, but there may be a chance. So,
yeah, it's hard too, because a lot of people, I think a lot of people don't understand that like Camp Mograph is kind of its own company as well. You know?
Yeah.
And so there's certain things that we have control over or don't have control over, or things we have money for or don't have money for.
Yeah.
And I would like to say one of the biggest things people have asked is there a day pass to come into the camp? And there is not, and I'm going to explain to you the reasoning behind it, because these things are not as easy to run as it seems. You can't just say, oh, let's just add 50 more tickets. Not only does it take away from the fact that the camp is not as intimate and you don't get to meet everybody if there's too many people there. I just feel like a regular conference. You don't want that. The main thing is that if you do a day pass, you can't do alcohol with those people, because then you're allowing them to leave the premises.
Right.
And
you're liable for what happens to them afterwards.
Right.
And stuff.
And then the other thing is that you add all those people, then your classes are too full, and then you have to get more teachers.
You
Therefore,
have to add more teachers,
the
you have
ticket
to find
prices
more spaces for teachers, because like as of right now, we've got just enough spaces for all of our workshops and stuff like that.
So we're working on solutions for this, so more people can come to camp and things. But we'll get to that in a couple months.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Everybody's going to have a chance. But we're trying to keep that feeling. And that's like something that's really hard to do, is keep that feel without it becoming too big, without it becoming too corporate.
Yeah.
So we're working on finding the best solution for that. So
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So everybody will get a chance to go. We'll work it out. Anything else, Camp, before we move on?
I think that's it. If you have any questions or anything, hit us up, info@campmograph.com, or you can shoot us an email here at Mograph, info@mograph.com. I answer almost all the things immediately, because I'm attached to my phone at all times. So if I don't get to you immediately, it's because you've asked a very intense question, or and I need time to think about it.
You in Slack, I'm gonna just start like a bot on Slack that's hitting you up like every 5 minutes, because your phone just has all the notifications on.
Yeah. Well, I turn them off. Once they become too annoying, I'll turn them off.
Yeah.
I'll be like, I don't need to deal with this for 2 hours. Like I snooze the notifications for 2 hours before every show, So.
Let's see. Let's go to Ravcock. What's your flavor?
What's your flavor?
2 render engine updates I wanted to go into real quick. Number 1 is I just did see that there was a Cinema 4D Octane 2020.2.4-R2 latest stable version 20.06 2021. Wow.
Did you really? Is that actually what it's all called?
I mean, yeah, that's what it's called.
Okay, I didn't know.
It's 2020.2.4 R2. The 0.4 is the new part, and it's R2 of that 04, even though there's the 2021 version. But this is the stable release. I just saw that come across last week. I think, who posted that? Tom posted that. And then something else that you just mentioned this morning that I missed because I was on vacation is that there's some Redshift updates now.
There was a Redshift update to a new version. It's got the new version of OpenColor IO V2 or something like that. But I now there is one thing with it. When you update, apparently I've heard that it auto defaults to aces as your color, like your color mode.
But you can just change that.
sRGB. Yes, but just be aware of that
Oh, okay.
because a lot of people don't know how to use aces
I know.
at the
I
moment.
don't either. I
which
gotta get on
no,
that.
No. I've used aces in production, like for doing like, like actually taking log footage that they've given me and working in aces in order to, do all my compositing and then send it back out to aces. And it's a really cool workflow.
Yeah.
But you got to know how to use it first, and there's not a lot of resources out there that I've found. There is. You can get through it, but it's not something that everyone will instinctively be able to figure out.
Was it Andre Lebrov? Did I get that name right? That did like a good video on that, I think.
There's a couple of good videos. I don't remember who specifically did them at all.
Yeah.
But also, in addition, going along with Maxon just released a new standalone app or whatever for updating all of your Maxon and Redshift or Red Giant stuff.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. It's the
Nice.
Maxon app. I'm just opening it up real quick so that I can see. But yeah, you can update Cinema, Magic Bullet Suite, Pluralize, Trapcode Suite, Universe, VSFX Suite, all that stuff. And it's also got Moves by Maxon, Forger, and Redshift in here as well, which is really cool. Oh boy, I just messed my mouse up. Anyway, but yeah, you can see what's installed and stuff, and so like it's just one place to go. I've for those unaware though, there have been some issues with, I think, login stuff. I don't know if that was all taken care of. But the workaround is if you're logged into like your Red Giant manager and you're trying to log in, you have to like log out of your Red Giant application manager first and then log into it.
That makes sense.
It's a little yeah. So yeah.
I played with Forger for a little bit before I went on vacation one night. Got to start messing with that. And I updated some stuff in my Red Giant the other day because, I was talking offline to Harry Frank the other day, and like there's just so much great Red Giant stuff that like I don't have an opportunity to use because like the kind of stuff I do, like, oh man, I need to play with that. I need to play with that. I need to play with that.
Dude, Super Comp. I want to play with Super Comp so badly, but like I just don't have the time.
I want Super Comp in Cinema 4D.
I want Super Comp as its own, like
that's what I'm
thing.
saying. Like
where
you can comp while you're designing.
Inside Cinema 4D as one big package. Oh, that'd be awesome.
I think.
They also updated to Universe 4. Red Giant did.
Yeah, and
so
I used I think something from that, which is the heat. I have a heat wave plugin from Video Copilot and from Red Giant.
Yeah, heat distortion
Heat distortion,
yeah.
And I did the one from Red Giant for a project I was working on the other day for fun. I was working on a rocket ship, so I could do kind of I've been working on some ideas for a Turbulence FD tutorial, and that was one of my ideas, was to have that, and it's to have a rocket ship with like big smoke coming out of the bottom and stuff. And so I kind of mocked it up in order to create it for the tutorial this weekend, and I was using the heat wave stuff, and I really liked it. It looks really good. So and I put a little VHS filter in there too, just for fun. Yeah. That's our ongoing joke, is I'm always updating my VHS filter because I love it. I use it way too much.
I used a lot of the holographic.
Oh yeah.
Plugin. What is that one? I can't remember which one that one's called, but I used that one a lot for a previous project that we just did. That's a really good one. I really like that one.
Cool. All right, let's talk about Rachel.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about you. We've got. I see another prop. What is that? It's a hand. Is it a mannequin hand?
Yes.
Funny enough, I have a mannequin hand as well. It's not. It's not within reaching distance. It's in the closet, but yeah.
You keep it in the closet?
Yeah. Yeah. It was for a It was for a bowling glove. It held a bowling glove for
that's funny. I remember
for
that.
a project.
I helped model some of it or something like that. That's funny.
Yeah. Where does one get a mannequin, a gold, bronze
So let's
mannequin
talk
hand?
about the mannequin district in downtown LA.
Let's do
Oh, the
it.
mannequin district.
So basically, okay, so I was doing this one project for a pitch where I was like projecting stuff onto like mannequins, and I went around to like different places because I was looking for like the right one, and there's a bunch of them like near each other in downtown, and I went in and I was like, okay, how much? And then they like told me a price, and then I was like, okay, like that's like I'll pay it because I want this mannequin, but I'm gonna keep going around. I don't remember what they said, like maybe like $80 or something. And then I went to another place and I was like, okay, like I don't know about this torso, but okay. I'm like, how much? Like $80. I'm like, okay, that's weird. Same price as the other one. And then I like kept going around. And then I think it was like the fifth one I was at. And then I noticed that the owner of like the third store I had went to came in, and I was like, are they all like together in on
Oh,
this?
it's
Yeah.
big
Fixing
mannequin.
the
It's
prices.
an
I was like, what is-
oligopoly.
Yeah, big
Yeah, I was
mannequin.
It's like
What's going
fixing
on
the
here?
prices for mannequins.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was like, I saw you at that other store. What are you doing here? Like, there's no way you're friends with this one. Like, So I was like, man, they're fixing the prices for sure.
That's
Mannequin
funny.
conspiracy.
Yeah.
Big mannequin.
Big mannequin.
So then I like, okay, so this is funny. But so basically, I put them all in my car. I'm like in a Honda Civic. This
Oh
doesn't really
my
have to do
gosh.
with me, but you're gonna kind of get the idea of me with this story.
You
Anyway,
can use the HOV lane now.
True.
okay, that's another story. So anyway, so I put them all in the car, and like there was a point where like I just had body parts in my trunk, and
Oh,
like I
gosh.
just thought it was hilarious because it just looks like I just like killed somebody, or like it looks like it's really great. Like I just opened the trunk and like you just see like all these like legs and arms and just like the faces just covered up, and I'm just like, don't look at him, he's fine. Like,
Look at it.
but yeah, like.
I was kind of
That's
hoping
funny.
you like had them all sticking out the windows in different,
Right.
just
Well, I
tons
did
of
at
mannequins. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, I like doing the type of work where like people are looking at you weird and they think like they're like, what the hell is going on with this person? Like, what the fuck are they doing? Like I want the head turns. Like I want them to be like, okay, what is this about? But
It's good
Everyone's
PR.
just like, LA.
Yeah.
These LA.
It's just normal.
people.
Yeah. Have you ever seen
Yeah.
Muppets Take Manhattan, where everything weird happens? They just look and they're like, it's just New York.
Yes.
I haven't, but I'm a fan of Animal.
Yeah. It's just
I
LA,
think I was great.
you know.
Yeah, so like one time I had them all in a stack, like all the legs, like all the bodies, just like, and these are mannequins. All the mannequin bodies just in a stack, and I was like, oh, this is a cool abstract like image. I'm gonna take a picture, and I like put it on Instagram, and Instagram like blocked my post because it thought it was like pornographic or something, and I was
That's
like,
funny.
it's just mannequins.
Yeah, it's
Weird.
just mannequin.
Was it showing
Yeah.
any private parts of the mannequins or
They
where
don't
the
have private
Well, I
parts. It's
mean,
all, like,
where they
like,
would
smoothed
be?
out, like
Yeah. The Barbie, the Barbie areas, the smooth
It was-
Barbie
yeah,
out areas.
it was far too graphic. Like the algorithm was like, like
Wow.
Too many mannequin bums.
Yeah.
yeah,
Mannequin butts.
too many.
Yeah.
Like the max is like 3, and we have like 6 here, so you're not gonna
Yeah.
be able to post it.
You've reached your mannequin butt
Yeah.
threshold.
Yeah,
That's funny.
exactly.
So tell
So,
us
yeah, like
tell us
Go
about
ahead.
kind of like from the beginning, the like how did you get into what you do now? Like did you have an upbringing that kind of led to this industry? Is it something you discovered later in life? Is it something that mannequins have inspired you to do? What was your upbringing like in the world of art?
Well, basically, like, it's kind of interesting because I kind of went full circle a little bit. But basically, I mean, in high school, well, okay, I guess I should start here. I liked playing video games and I liked playing Sonic the Hedgehog. So I usually would like draw like fan art and stuff like that, and I just like drawing them. And then I kind of got into it with that, and I would just like paint. I'd be up all night just digital painting, like, and there'd be points where like my parents just didn't get it, so they just thought I was like not behaving because I'm like not
Uh-huh.
sleeping, but I was just like painting like into the night, like I'm a super passionate artist. And like there were times where like my dad had to like wrestle the keyboard out of my hands, and I'm like, no, I have to finish this paint. And I'm just like, so I was very like obsessively into like doing that like digital painting. So like that's kind of like where I started. So I started doing that in like middle school, and like I had like I just found like whatever program I could and just like tried to like paint and stuff. So that was kind of like my foundation. I got into it with video games. Really, that is what inspired me. And seeing like the CG like cinematic scenes, like seeing how like realistic it would get, I was like, oh, that's cool. Like I want to do that. And then that's totally not what I'm doing now, but that's what inspired me though. So in high school, like I ended up taking an AP art class, and they were like, I showed them like my work, and they're like, oh yeah, we need like they can't really get you in with fan art. Like you need to draw like stuff, or like basically kind of like find your voice. Yeah. So I started drawing like more like, you know, just showing them, hey, I can do like still life stuff. It's fine. Like, and then I got in the AP art class without having to do any prerequisite classes. And then that's really where I started, like just trying to like find my voice, and like you had to pick like a theme, and like I picked, I don't remember what theme I picked, but it was like kind of like a metaphor type of thing, like a weird oxymoron metaphor thing. So I like drew like a pregnant nun or like weird things like that. And so I did that, and then I really wanted to go to art school, but I came from like a low income family, so I didn't have any money at all. Like I had $0 for college. Like I couldn't even afford community college. So so I ended up going to community college just to transfer, because I thought like, okay, maybe that'll cut the cost down. And like I was like full scholarship to community college. I did a lot of community service, and I was thinking about the two different options. The option was I really wanted to go to Otis, like that was my dream school, and then the other option was like just go to CSU because it's affordable. But I was kind of like keeping my track so that everything I didn't have, because I didn't have any money, I couldn't, there was no backup. Like, you know what I mean? Like everything I did had to be with strategy and plan. So I'd be like a mad scientist at night being like, okay, I have to take this class, and this class counts here, and this class counts here also. And like I had like the red strings, like I was up all night like doing all these like crazy like mad scientist like things, trying to like figure out like how can I efficiently do this, and like
the Always Sunny meme where he's like putting the strings together.
Yeah, it was exactly like that. And like I'm just like in my closet, like the light on, and like doing all these things. But anyway, so like it really took I had this professor named Eric Holman, and he was like my really my first mentor, like the person that really got me to stick to it, because I was thinking about doing psychology or design, and like I really wanted to do design, but I was afraid that I couldn't afford it. But then I realized, okay, psychology is more years, so I definitely can't afford that. So I was like, okay, so and I talked to him because Eric Holman's the brother of Brian Holman. So Brian Holman owns Royale, or started Royale. So that's the connection there. So sometimes he would have Brian come in and like show us like the motion graphic stuff. And I was actually really inspired by it. And I always loved Royale's work. And that really, like, I just loved like the music and the way they cut their reels and stuff. And I loved editorial stuff too. And like music in general. So like that really like got me into it. And then, yeah, so I talked to Eric Holman like at some point after class, and I was saying like, hey, like, is it worth it to go to art school? Like, cause I really can't afford this. And like, I'm really scared. And like, he told me like, I might cry about this. Sorry. He told me, it is
just
worth
put the glasses on. You'll be fine.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
He said, it is worth it.
Oh, snap.
And you're going to have a lot of debt, but you'll clean up the mess.
Yeah.
Just like I did.
Yeah.
And when he said that, it kind of like set in, and it kind of gave me permission to do this. And yeah, I like fucking like broke down in front of him. Like when he said that, I was like crying, and I'm just like, okay, like I'll follow my dreams. Like, yeah. So like, that's when I really like said, okay, I'm going to go for it. And then also like my grandma too, like, she was like telling me like, oh, well, just try. Like, you never know, like, just try. So like, oh no, I'm definitely going to cry.
Art is something that like, it's such a powerful thing for so many people. And there is a lot of talk in the industry about barrier to entry and things as well. And I think one of the nice things about our industry is, I mean, school is great, but there are some really great ways to go about learning that you couldn't do in another industry. You can't become a doctor by watching YouTube.
Yeah.
So
I get what you were going through. Like it's a hard thing because you're looking at the price of school,
right.
and it's It's ridiculous. I literally I'm 38 years old and I just paid off my Art Institute loans from when I was 20 years old. I paid them off a few months ago, and that was only because I basically won the lottery.
Right. Right.
Like, I mean, no joke. And I was in like
That's 'cause you're smart.
No, no, when I was in the when I was in my I had no idea how I was going to pay for college because my parents weren't going to pay for my college. You kidding me? You know, they had 4 kids, you know, and I was only the second kid, so they didn't care about the older kids. You know, they're like, you can go do your own thing. That was a jab at my youngest brother, by the way. But yeah, I'm sitting in the student loan department and they're telling me all these prices,
Right.
you know, and I am in tears because I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to afford this. How do you do this? You know, and you're basically gambling, saying, I really hope, you know, I'm a dumb kid. I hope that this is the right place to go, you know, like I hope that I come out of this with a good investment, you know, a good ROI on my investment.
Right.
Yeah, you only get one shot when you're in that situation where like you can't afford it, and it's like you only get that aid once as well.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
So how long ago was that?
Yeah.
I'm not going to reveal how old I am.
That's fine.
You know, when people ask me how old I am, I'll tell them something like I'm 86. And then they'll be like, really? How old are you? And I'll get older as they say it. So if I tell you when, people are going to do the math. So I'm not going to.
Well, you could have started college any time. The reason I was asking is because I was just curious, like how long it's been and like how do you feel that return on investment?
To answer that question, yeah, definitely. Like, you know, I aggressively paid my loans. So like I made a contest with my boyfriend. I was like, okay, whoever pays it off first has to buy the other person like a $200 steak. Yeah. like it's gonna be a nice ass steak. Like, so I got really competitive. So I like threw like 2K at it like every month. Like I was and like still lived off of oats and beans. Like it was just like, I'm gonna pay this off. But yeah, like it was definitely worth it, and I did pay it off, and it is an investment in yourself. And also you get a network of people. And like, yeah, like when I applied, like I was able to get, like, they awarded me like 40,000 to go. And like at the time it was like 42. But of course that's a combination of loans and scholarship. But yeah, I was like in tears. And like the first thing I did was call my grandma because I was like, yeah, so I'll cry when I talk about that. Yeah, but yeah.
What program did you go into? Where did you end up going?
So it was I kept switching, to be honest. Like when I went, like I stayed put in the right place. But like before that, when I was transferring, I was like constantly like, oh, maybe here, maybe here, maybe. So it was basically, you know, I told you like I wanted to do video games and stuff. So I had this like talent for digital painting. So I thought, okay, like maybe I'll do concept art. And then so at first I was going to do that. And then taking Eric Holman's class, like I really liked advertising. So I was like, maybe I should do advertising. I feel like I have an knack for it. And then I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll go back to concept. And then when I was getting my classes, when you transfer, you don't get first dibs. And the digital painting class was full. So I was like, I'm going to switch to, well, actually, it's digital media. So it's like an umbrella, really, for different parts. So they do Mograph, they do VFX, they do motion graphics. I guess I already
sure.
3D, like so going in, like I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna do digital media. So I kind of switched between advertising and digital media. The reason why I didn't do advertising there is because I really think that Art Center is really the one that shines at advertising. I think Otis is more shining with motion graphics and that stuff. So I felt like, okay, like if I'm going here, I'm gonna go for motion graphics. And also like, again, like Eric Holman's brother, Brian Holman, like just showing like Royale's reel and stuff like that. I was like, okay, that stuff really does inspire me. So let's see. And then it wasn't until like maybe like a semester in that I started doing something that felt right. And that's when I started like, and I was actually shooting like cassette tapes and like fish tank, and I was doing like mannequin hands and like things like that. And like one of the TAs like walked in, who was a really, really talented artist now, and he was like, he looked at it and his like jaw dropped, and he was like, this is like, and I was like a sophomore at the time, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah. And he was like, this is stronger than some of the senior theses. He's like, oh my God, I'm gonna get some more people to look at this. And I'm like, okay. So like when I had like a crowd of people around my computer, I was like, okay, I think I'm doing something right. Because
Right.
if I'm getting people to like look at my, like people are just coming to look at my screen, like it must be okay.
And also, it makes you super nervous.
Yeah.
Have you ever
for me,
had
it was
people
like-
around? You're like, oh, I can't work like this. Like,
I mean, I'm more nervous in my head. Like, I'm my toughest critic. So, like,
Yeah.
I kind of need that validation sometimes. Like, if someone's, like,
Yeah,
I'll be thinking,
yeah.
like, oh, this sucks. Or, like, oh, like, I'm always thinking about what it needs. Or, like, how I can make it better. Or,
Right.
like, the things that are wrong with it. And it's, like, constantly pushing. So sometimes it's nice and takes some of the nerves off when someone's like, oh, that looks good. It's like, really? Okay, cool. It's not trash.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
When I was working this weekend on that rocket, I almost did I almost posted the final product, but I didn't because there's still a couple tweaks I want to make. But I feel like Instagram stories is a good way to go about that, because you're like, it's not the final
Yeah.
and it's not going to be here forever, but you can get feedback and then maybe make a change later before you post like the final as like an actual Instagram post, you know?
Yeah.
So one of the things that when you're trying to get schooling and things, though, is that sometimes it's hard to know, like you said, you were bouncing around, kind of like what you want to learn or what you want to spend money on, right? So, because like, you can go on YouTube and you can watch EJ and you can watch Grayscale Gorilla tutorials and things like that. But there are certain parts of school that are very valuable if you decide to go. So it might be kind of hard to say, okay, well, which part should I pay for? Should I pay to learn like design? Should I pay to learn, maybe go into film and learn things about film? Like if you're not familiar with cameras and how they work and composition of shots, like you go that route. I think it's really hard for people when they're going to spend that money to know, am I making the right decision? Is this the right school? I'm going with the affordable choice, but is it going to be worth it? Is it going to give me anything better than I could get on the internet? And,
you know, like,
yeah,
the first thing, I was actually aiming to go to Brooks Institute because it was film, because I always had like an interest in doing that type of stuff. And like now here I am doing like a bunch of shoot stuff, but like macro shoots and stuff. And I went there and then they were like, they saw my portfolio and they were like, oh, it's really competitive in film. You should do graphics instead. And then I was like, but I want to do film. They're like, well, you should do graphics because we think you have an edge. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to go to Brooks for that then, because their graphics department was really bad. But for me, it was like, that was like the medium where it was like more affordable, right? And then
were they
there's a
trying
point
to
of-
fill the? Sorry, were they trying
Yeah,
to fill that department? Is that?
yes, and that's what I was going to say, because there came a point where they emailed me and they were like, oh, can we have the high-res images of your personal work to put on our brochures? And I was like, okay, that's a really weird red flag. Like, I'm not
Weird.
going to.
Yeah.
I was like, first of all, like, if you do this kind of work, you should have it. Like,
That's funny.
you know, like that doesn't encourage me to think that you have like this type of education. If
Right.
I'm coming, if you're putting stuff on your brochure of the things that I'm coming in with, like, yeah, so that was really like,
Yeah.
so I'm glad I like paid attention to like, because again, yeah, it's scary because you make one wrong move and like you're
Yeah.
in debt and it's like hard to pay it off. So it's like, yeah, I was really scared the whole time.
That reminds me of being
Yeah.
in middle school and going in to do band, because I came in there, you know, drums were probably my second choice. I really wanted to do like like saxophone, and I was I kind of had my heart set on saxophone. And what did they say? Well, we really think you should do French horn. We feel like you have the lips for French horn.
They're looking at
I
your
was
list.
like, the lips? I was, and all it was is they wanted to, nobody wants to play the French horn. Nobody wants to play French
The
horn.
teacher going,
Looking at them.
yeah, could you just go like this for me?
Yeah.
You got,
It's like,
you got
oh,
the-
yeah.
You got the lips.
Mm.
Yeah.
So what's funny is when I
I'm
met my
violated.
ex-wife back in 2003 or
I
4.
love how this segues into like an ex-wife story.
Yeah, I found out she was a French horn player. It turned out, actually, we were at some of the same competitions at different high
And
schools.
she was like, "Ooh, you do
She
have
saw
the
those
lips
Yeah,
for
lips,
French
and she
but
was
guess
horn."
what
like,
she
okay.
said? She said my first choice was not French horn either. I'm like, really? They're like, yeah. They sat down and they were talking about instruments and stuff, and they said, you know what? You really have good lips for playing French horn. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a scam. Like they're just trying to
It is.
move kids
Yeah.
to other areas, and unless the parent gets involved and says, no, my kid is playing the freaking saxophone, it doesn't happen. So that's why I'm a French horn player and a trumpet player. But
$1 for everything.
They got you.
I had lips for French. Oh, Jeff, that was good. That was
He
really
said
good.
if I have $1 for every time someone told me I had the lips for French horn. Yeah. So, well, okay.
New
So
T-shirt idea.
I have a mannequin question.
Oh yeah.
So you were projecting things onto the mannequins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this wasn't the Christina video, was it? Because I saw a mannequin projection video for a song called Christina a
Oh
long time
no,
ago. But
it was like a pitch that like it got to like the top one, but like at the end the CEO or whoever top guy was like, this may be too risky for our
Oh,
network.
boo.
Like,
oh,
so
he
it was
must be
like-
working for Instagram.
No, it was like I think it was like Austin or something. But like yeah, they were like, this is too. But it almost made it, so I was like, but I didn't care because I wanted those mannequins anyway.
But you've moved on and gotten different jobs and things. Oh, creepy baby! Wow. Okay, tell me about the creepy baby prop.
This was my great grandmother's or something. I don't know, grandmother's. I don't know who this is.
Is
but
it bloody?
It's in the family. This baby
This-
has been
This
passed down
holds,
for
this holds
generations,
the
and I've lost the
spirit
diaper.
of my great grandmother.
So I like burnt the side of its skull for a pitch. Oh shit, not on the frame. But
All right.
Are
And when
you
you-
a pyromaniac?
no, I'm actually very afraid of fire.
Oh, okay. So what
Yeah,
was
one
the?
Hanukkah, my hair caught fire, and
Oh man.
so
Well,
I'm traumatized.
What? So you burnt the baby on purpose
Yeah.
as a
Well, I
prop?
have a heat gun, so it's like not too.
Oh, okay. It wasn't like
Like,
a
I'm afraid
lighter.
of fire.
So
I mean, I'll still shoot stuff with fire, but I'm like really afraid the whole time.
I mean, fire renders. Your renders are fire.
No.
Yeah. Ding.
There we go.
So tell us about your career path though. Like you have you done freelance and working for companies?
Oh yeah.
So where did you go after school and what started your path?
So basically, I had a professor, Steve Viola, and like it was like my senior year, I believe, and like when I took his class, like right away there was like a connection because like I felt like I really understood what he was saying and like everything he was showing was like super inspiring. I like took his class like super seriously and like I just really liked everything he had to say. So like I really tried to make that class my focus. And at the time he was working at Method, but he ended up working in FX. He like transitioned. So there was a point where he wanted to hire me, and it was because I did like this ice time lapse thing for one of his assignments, and it was another one of those things where like people like came around and like looked at my screen, and I had like a bunch of people, and I was like, okay, I didn't mess up.
Yeah.
And then he saw, and I guess he was like expecting like a student project kind of thing, but like it looked good, like or good enough. I don't want to. I feel weird when I.
Looks amazing.
But like I guess it like made him. I think that was the project that kind of like made him see me.
Right.
So I think so in the second semester when I was taking his class, he approached me for taking a job at FX, and he wanted me to start before I graduated. But I was saying I really wanted this job, and I really wanted to work for Steve because like he was a lot of fun. Like I really wanted to like see where that went because it felt like it would be like the synergy would be good. But he wanted me to work during school, and I was like, okay, I need to focus on my school, and I want to finish this. And like I kind of felt I had another mentor named Everett Campbell, and he was always telling me like, experiment in school, like, focus on school. Don't be in a hurry to get an internship. So I was never in a hurry to get an internship. I only worked because I had to pay for my education. And Everett actually helped me do that. He recommended me. There was a point where my Cal grant got dropped and I had to come up with like 12K or else I had to drop out, and I was like freaking out because they changed legislation. That's a whole story, but anyway, Everett really helped me out, and I did a good job there. And then that's when I was like first working, and it was freelance, and I was working for Chromatic Studio, and they do like NFL type stuff, and yeah, and I was like, oh my god, I can make this amount of money and like have fun. Like what? I was like, my life has completely changed. Like I was busy, like I didn't have enough money that like I was a vegetarian for financial reasons. Like I couldn't afford meat. Like it was like really bad. So like I remember I like got a salmon and I was like, anyway. So that was my first job, just like working and I worked like in the summertime and like spring break or any time that I could to help support myself through school. And then after that, like during senior show, I was already like negotiating with Steve for this FX role, and like it wasn't until like maybe 2 weeks after I graduated that I ended up finalizing the negotiation and stuff and went to FX. And I was there for like maybe 2.5 years as staff. And yeah, it was really rewarding, and like I think it was definitely the right place or the right fit, because like I really love doing like metaphorical and like raw imagery and stuff like that. And like so yeah, I like learned a lot there, and there was like it was just a really great place to like start, because it was just so like it was the right brand for me to like get to experiment for, like in a terms of like it was very rewarding for like my portfolio, and also like for me to learn, because I was able to have the ability to like make pieces that fell in line with like what I wanted my brand, my personal brand to be, because I feel like it's really important to like make pieces that align with your voice. So
absolutely.
So like, and that will get you more projects that align with your voice. So it was really rewarding in that respect. And then after 2.5 years, I left and I wanted to go freelance because I wanted to do like more main titles and stuff like that. Or just try different things. And like also like I was getting so many people hitting me up, I was just like, okay, like I want to see, like I felt like 2.5 years, like maybe I should like just try this out. So I've been freelancing, and you know I love freelancing. Like I've been working everywhere, like Elastic, I've been working at Motion, Brand New School, Logan, Deutsch, like all these all kinds of places everywhere, Digital Domain, like basically everywhere. So yeah, and like so I've gotten to experience different things, and what I really like about it is that you own your own time. Like, I feel like when you're staff, like the company owns your time, and like if you like, I feel like 2 weeks vacation isn't enough for chores, mental sanity, like seeing your parents, like going, you know, significant other, friends. Like I like to be able to shape my time based on the needs of my life.
Right.
So it's kind of nice. I'm not saying like staff is bad. I'm just saying like that it's a really good pro to freelancing.
It's just so freeing. It's
free.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that really does a lot for your like mental state, because sometimes like my style is like I go super hard and then I like you know what I mean? Like I'm collapsed. Yeah. Just like so I like being able to like go super hard, make some cool shit, and then just go to sleep for 2 weeks. Like
it's like it's almost like you put so much into something that your brain literally like shuts off. At the end, it's like, okay, it's break time.
Yeah.
You know,
you can get sick now.
Yeah. Yes, that happens all the time, right? Like you finish something big, or you get back from a really long, not a vacation, but you had to travel somewhere or go to NAB or whatever, and like all of the things you had to do are done, and your brain's like, all right, now you can get sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're running on adrenaline the whole time, so your body's like, is it okay now? Can I like do this now? Can I like collapse?
Yeah. And sometimes the creativity actually gets better in those situations. You got to pee again?
Yes.
Okay. I'll trade him off when he comes back. Okay, so who are you working for now?
I'm working for Logan.
Okay. And what kind of projects have you been working on? And are the things that you're posting on your Instagram from there, or are these independent things?
Oh, well, let me look at my Instagram. The thing from Instagram, a lot of that is from Current. And that in Current is like this amazing, like, it's basically an amazing gathering of like,
I found the sunglasses.
Shit. Well, that's this is actually my senior thesis. So like I try to take these with me everywhere. Like, so when I travel, just to remind myself, these are like CVS $5 glasses that
Yeah.
I dipped in gold. I'm trying to say like, you make your own gold, like you pave your own way. So, because I went to school with people that were like wearing Prada and like all that stuff, and I was like,
Yeah.
like,
And you take
But
them
anyway.
everywhere and like take photos with it, or
yeah, I take photos with it whenever I go on trips.
it's like a
So I
flat
think,
Stanley,
Like what?
like flat Stanley.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
I don't know if
but
people still do that.
Sure.
It was he was a character, a children's book character, and about a boy who was flattened somehow. I think a bookshelf or something fell on him, so he was flat Stanley,
Right.
and he could like go under doors and stuff. But people take flat Stanley around and take photos in different
Oh,
places.
I
with
see,
him.
I see.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I
How did we
derailed.
get the flat Stanley?
Well, we were talking about the glasses. She takes the glasses, and I'll bring them up again to different places and takes the photo, which is cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's cool. Yeah.
I've been archiving some of them just so it doesn't get too repetitive on my feed, but eventually I
That's-
want to like cut a bunch together and
It's a much cooler flat Stanley.
Yeah. And what I was the reason it came up because we were talking about Instagram. So some of the stuff that you have on your Instagram, like is so whether or not it's a mix of stuff from who you're working for or if it's personal stuff.
So all of that was done with Current for Mezcal Silencio, working with Kenneth Tigley, Rachel Mont, Unha Choi. And they're basically all my friends. And it's like great because we can just like work together and like we have really good synergy together and everything is like, there's a really good flow whenever we work together. And like, so all the Mezcal stuff we did together. And this particular one, they saw something I did for the Americans, which was for FX, and they were like,
yeah,
"Oh,
I forgot about that.
Out.
I completely
Sorry.
forgot. So you did was it the intro for the Americans?
No, it was just a promo. It was a promo,
promo.
ID that ended up becoming the episodic package as well. And then Danny Yunt also expanded on it and did like shoots based on those boards as well. So he did some stuff for the episodic, or he did the episodic as well. But yeah, that was done at FX. But yeah, so all this Mezcal stuff is like really cool. It's a really cool client. And then just working with Kenny and Rachel and Unha, like it's always like super electric whenever we work together. So, and then the South County stuff was a more of a personal project side thing, but it was we all like got our desks and computers and brought it to like Kenny and Rachel's house, and we just like experimented with paint for a month during like Christmas because none of us really celebrated that much. So we were just like, let's just make some art, and like it was for motion poems or something like that. I'm gonna get in trouble for not doing the right thing. But anyway, they reached out to Kenny and like, so he directed it and all that stuff, and we all kind of created all these things, and it's kind of hard to recreate because we were all mixing colors together and doing all these things, so it was really fun and rewarding. But yeah, the Mezcal stuff is more like definitely a different style, but it was always like these really cool things where like we would board out different things, and then there would be like a massive shoot that would bring it to life.
There's so many
and then
things.
I thought those things,
Sorry.
the ice one at least.
Yeah, and there's just so many things. What I like about your Instagram is kind of a mix, and you can see some of the photos and other things that you've taken, and it's really like it really shows, I think, kind of where your style and inspiration comes from on some of these based on some of the photos you're taking. And it's interesting because some people keep a separate feed, and sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. Like I have a personal Instagram and I have a like Mograph Instagram. But I think like in your case, it feels like your styles kind of mesh together, like with photography and with experiments and with 3D or whatever. Is really cool. So what is your day-to-day like when you're at work? What are you doing for the most part, and what are you working in?
So I'm all over the place because I do so many different things. So like that's why I like working. I like working for Logan, actually. They're really fun, and Brand New School also, but all these places. But basically, right now, you were asking me what I'm doing for them right now. I can't name any projects with NDA, but
Yeah.
1 week I'm doing a macro shoot, like in the dining room, and then like the other week I'm like doing some stuff in C4D, and then the other week I'm like animating, or another week I'm doing pitch design boards, like so it's always something different.
I guess that keeps it interesting, though. You don't get too bored.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I definitely like I love doing the more experimental like macro shoot stuff, but I also like I love designing. Like that's definitely like just boarding out stuff and thinking of the story and like helping find those like kind of like shock moments. Like I like, or like edge moments, whatever that is. Like I kind of really like doing that kind of stuff. Yeah, and if you go to my site on there's a Mezcal thing that kind of like shows some behind the scenes of like some of the shoot stuff I did with the fish tank type things for
on your website.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
for the one with the
Man,
girl.
oh man,
But
there's
not the
so much
real.
more on your website too. Jeez. Wow, this is awesome. Okay, everybody go to the website. So you got to check this out. Man, you got everything. Oh, so you have breakdowns of all of these.
I'm trying, but if you go up to the girl on the left, not the top one, that's my reel, but
This one here, the
yeah, if you go there, like
there we go.
yeah, so it's kind of like
Oh,
or like
nice.
like I lit the bottle with like my phone. Like I'm very like into like really like haphazard trashy setups, like super like cheap, like
Right.
like
Whatever works.
like
you know?
that's my roommate, like, or my roommate at the time. Like I was like, can I please dress you up like for this shoot, like, and that's like my heat gun. So like and that's like wax that I was like melting, and like we use like a 3D print to put in the logo for that, and like these are just like boards and stuff that help aid the story, and like
Right.
but I'll like physically get stuff like I'm definitely like really into like the prop aspect where you like sometimes it takes less time to like photograph something
Right.
and treat it than make a photoreal thing in 3D. So sometimes I'll work in
sure.
3D, but sometimes I would rather just like shoot something really quick, like
Yeah. And sometimes practical stuff or doing things in other ways like this is a great way to get inspiration for other things. I mean, I hear a lot of people that talk about that, especially lately for some reason. You got to draw your inspiration from other places. You can't just go to a bunch of other artists' Instagrams and expect to get some sort of inspiration.
Oh, yeah.
It comes from
I'm actually like really into the like it's like anti-reference. Like I
Yeah.
always do a search and try and find what's out there and be like, okay, I can't do any of this because
Right.
someone already did it.
Yeah.
And if I can't find what I want to do, that means it's good because it's not out there.
I
But,
like that.
Yeah, you go
I
to
like
Google
that
and you
idea,
type
the
in what you want.
anti-reference.
yeah.
and put like
That's cool.
minus Mograph, so like no Mograph stuff comes up in Google. Yeah.
I mean, it is really hard to like do something original, and I think like a lot of times there definitely is influence, like subconscious influences too. So like it's hard, but like I think a general thing is like I always try to like it's okay to have a reference for mood, I think, but
Mm-hmm.
definitely not into like the whole copying thing. I don't like that
Right.
at all. Like
Yeah.
I've always been
Right.
against it. Like if I ever did that, I'm sorry. Like, but I'm always making a very conscious effort to like not do anything like that. Like,
Right.
so yeah, that's why I'm really into the anti-reference. And I think even like in school, I kept seeing people like they'd copy stuff all the time, and like they'd spend all their time on Vimeo, and I would just like never be on Vimeo. I'm like I spend very little time referencing and more time
Yeah.
just experimenting.
Which
That's
for
cool.
some people that can be a good like trait like in their career, like if they work for somebody, to be a technical artist so that someone can hand you something and say, hey, the client wants this. That's a good trait to have. But then
Yeah.
you're not drawing on anything creative. You're just making what that thing is. You're not coming
You're
up
just
with it.
listening.
Right.
You're doing what's asked.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I definitely like I did all the grayscale Gorilla like tutorials. Like that's what taught. I really learned C4D from that. So like I still there's definitely a huge value to like the tutorials, like for sure. But
the 7-Up
know.
tutorial with the 7-Up cherries. That
yeah, there's like all kinds of like really like juicy things like where like yeah, that really like put me ahead just watching all that stuff, like because I couldn't get that same education in school. Like I learned some things, but like that C4D education with Grayscale Gorilla was like by
Yeah.
far like super good. So
All right, Matt, it's your turn to take over while I go to the restroom. So
All right,
I'll be back.
cool. What's your day-to-day look like?
making a mess,
Okay.
probably getting my boyfriend mad because I'm making
Are you
a mess
doing
in
a lot of the
apartment
stuff at
shooting.
home?
Yeah, well, I mean, like I used to go to the studio too, but a lot of times they would just trust me to go home and shoot some stuff. I'd be like, no, it's gonna be fine. Like I'm gonna, like trust me, I can do
Do you
it.
just
Like
keep a bunch of equipment at home as well?
yeah,
Wow, that's rad.
yeah. I mean, it's rough because I don't know where to put it, but like we have a lot of stuff. Like the dining room is essentially like a shooting space, so
Okay.
like normally
okay.
have a dining table. Like we have the dining table is a shooting table. Like there's no, but we eat at the coffee table anyway, so it's fine. But yeah.
Talk to me about what's the standard procedure for when someone is coming to you for a project?
Standard procedure. Well, it depends because I get hit up for so many different things. But
Mm-hmm.
my first, luckily, I mean, well, hopefully, if it's more creative, then my first step is like developing the mood, figuring out what the story is, like if I'm allowed that freedom to do that.
Sure.
And if not, then taking their idea and trying to make it as cool as I can to try and sell it. So I always start with the idea footwork, like not the doing. Like I'm more in that, and then usually like if I'm gonna do like a shoot thing, I might go to like I learned this from like my roots where like I didn't have that much money, so it was like I would go to the 99-cent store for like inspiration. So like I'll spend a lot of time like going to the thrift shop and getting like random props and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Things that are going to be unique for like these types of shoots. Or like it all really starts with like whatever the ask is, if it's a product or a brand or like whatever it is, just like dissecting it and figuring out like what is going to be the key image, like the key images that's going to define this brand the best in the best way, that's the most interesting. So I'm kind of like trying to sew those little threads together, and like that's kind of where I start with that. If it's design for a pitch or like animation and it's just something where it's like I'm just doing what is asked, then I'm just hustling and trying to get it done and I'm just taking orders and doing like I'm the pencil. So sometimes you're the pencil,
Yeah.
and sometimes you get to be like the artist. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Is a majority of your work? What would you say a majority of your work is? Is it pitch work? Is it design work? Is it what would you say?
Well, a lot of times I'll have to like remind places what my specialties are, because sometimes like because I can wear so many different hats, they'll just put me in animation. So to tell you the truth, like a lot of my jobs before were like animation, which is not my specialty, but every time I do it, they seem to be happy with it. So I'm like, okay, sure. If you're happy, I'm okay. Like,
Yeah.
like I'm always like okay. So like a lot of times I'm doing animation, but a lot of times I've been doing design, yeah. So I've been doing more design jobs now. I think now that I've had more of like an internet presence, so I think like people will actually know where my specialties are.
Right.
But I can definitely do a lot of animation. I think it's just been like quick pitches. Like sometimes the pitches are like 1 to 3 days. A lot of times 1 day to like come out with a bunch of boards. And like I think during the pandemic, I've been doing a lot more actually like branding type projects, like like Target or like things like that, like products, like trying to make like very clean, like 3D, like that kind of stuff, which I don't really have on my website. But I've been doing a lot of that during the pandemic. So I've been learning a lot about that stuff, which is interesting. It's nice to change things up. But yeah, I think like during the pandemic, I've really just been grinding and like, because that's all you can really do, because you can't really leave the house. So I've just been like I'm like a chill job, sure. Like I don't care. Like like if it's cool, I don't care. If it's chill, I don't care. I'm just grinding. Like I can't go anywhere.
That's funny.
Yeah.
What would be your ultimate project?
Yeah. It's a good one.
I've always wanted to work on a main title and get to like be more involved with the creative for it. Like I've worked at Elastic on main titles, but it's always on the animation side. So and I've always like tried to do my best at it whenever handed those opportunities, because I'm grateful for them. But yeah, like I definitely would love to like do more of that creative side of it. I definitely get opportunities to pitch more creatively for like promos and things like that, but it'd be nice to maybe get that main title thing. But I know like main titles don't make any money and stuff, so it's like whatever. Like
Which do you prefer, doing like animation or like the photography, like actual practical stuff?
I don't know. Like the thing is, like I really love Cinema 4D. Like I feel like when I'm getting into Cinema 4D, I'm like, oh, I love this. Like this is great.
Right.
Like, and then sometimes I'm shooting, I'm like, oh, this is great. So sometimes I just like the difference. Like because sometimes you like to get hands on and like touch the thing and like really mess with it and like like break it or melt it, whatever it is, and get aggressive with it because you can really show that tension and you have like those happy accidents.
Right.
But I also love 3D because you have such control of the lighting and the camera that you can't get in real life. So I think I just love, like, I want to do more, like learn more about 3D and like, because I've been spending a lot of time in the practical live action design area. So like, I think I'm starting to like, since the pandemic, I think a lot of jobs have been moving from live action to 3D more. More like,
totally agree.
Yeah, so I've definitely transitioned more to that. And I'm like using my PC like every day. Like I have a 3D computer and then I have my design computer. So I'm like, so I don't know. I love both. It's hard.
I like setting up shots and doing stuff, but I'm a really lazy person. So like,
so am I.
I'm not the type of person who wants to get all my gear out of the closet and the lights and make sure I have all the cameras, stuff, the plugs and everything, and drag it somewhere in the car. And like, I like to sit down in front of Cinema 4D because all the stuff's already there. And I'm lazy.
For me, I'm lazy. That's why I shoot, because sometimes it just takes less time and you have all this content that you can use. So I know it's a lot of physical labor, but it's like it's less mental and emotional labor.
Right.
Yeah. That's funny.
So I have a topic I wanted to bring up, and I wanted to get y'all's opinion on this as a way that it relates to Mograph. So it's about customer service. Now, I won't go on a big customer service rant, but I will say I've had a lot of issues with customer service lately. And it was really weird because it feels like it all happened around vacation. Okay, so like, for example, we rented the RV. We had problems with the RV. We had bad customer service as far as the RV went, right? Before I went out of town, because of the problems with the power in Texas, I actually ordered 2 generators. And it was very specific because these are very heavy, very big generators, like when they're going to be arriving, when they're going to get there, when we're going to, they're like, these are the protocols for COVID with the delivery, and they're going to unbox them for you and show them how to work. You must be there at this time or you will not receive them. And then they don't show up at all. And then I get one late and another one still hasn't arrived, right? I had a problem with Turbo Squid the other day. And this is more Mograph related. And it's like, I went to buy that rocket ship, and it was supposed to be FBX and OBJ. It was originally created in Blender, right? So it's like, I get it, and there's no textures. And they're like, well, you have to open the Blender file and do this. And I'm like, I don't know enough about, just give me the textures. And then they're trying to fix it. You
expect me to spend 3 hours trying to figure out how, download Blender, open it up, and then figure out how to export all the textures from Blender.
Yeah, and I'm like, and they're trying to give me all these ways to fix it. I'm like, I already bought another one, as you can see. And
it took less time.
It took less. I had to do it then. That's the problem with Turbo Squid. If the model doesn't work, usually you got to get your project done another way. So it's like, I just need the money back. Don't mess with me. I've been a Turbo Squid customer for 20 plus years. I buy stuff all the time. Like, don't give me a hard time about this.
For you.
You can
I'm going to talk about you on my podcast.
Yeah. No. Right. Do you know who I am? No.
Do you know me?
But it's like, okay, like I get what y'all are saying, and I understand that you got to pull it from, but I can't do that, and I already bought another expensive model instead. So just give me the money back. Another example, in this household, we're big Bath and Body Works fans. The candles.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, love the candles, and when they do their sales, we load up on them.
20%.
That's right. Or the the 3-wick candles for half price and all that, right? So same thing. Ordered a huge amount of candles, and they just never showed up. There was like one box with one candle and then like some broken stuff that they sent, and the bulk of it wasn't there. And then they wouldn't return. They said, well, we got to wait till the end of the month and see if it doesn't arrive. And I'm like, well, FedEx never scanned it in the first place. They would not give me my money back.
Now.
And then it's like, it's not even about the candles. It's just like the money. I just need my money back, and they won't give it to me. And I have to call the bank. I got, those Amazon problems, the generator. I had an issue with GoDaddy. While I was gone, all of a sudden my email wasn't coming in because I throw everything to a catch-all. And after 20-something years of having it set up like that, I
Yeah,
gotta
didn't
say,
they just update to a new, different type of email
they
server?
did a deal with Microsoft 365.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was a big money
Dude,
deal, and
Mhm.
they're like, well,
Outlook and
yeah,
Microsoft,
oh,
like Outlook will just like mess up your computer. I'm always telling people just go to Gmail. Like it's fine. Just
Right.
use Gmail. What's the problem? Like
Right.
stop using
Mhm.
Outlook.
just go direct. And I have everything forward to there anyway, but I do a catch-all. If it's American Airlines, it's American at, you
Mhm.
know, and whatever, right? And it's just a domain that I've had since 1999. And but all of a sudden something breaks and you need customer service. It's like the problem with that is I couldn't get into my account because the account was at an address that was a catch-all as well. So I couldn't even reset my password and fix things because of the issue. And then lastly, you know, I'm not a big fast food eater anymore, but I had problems with DoorDash because I just wanted to order some food the other night. Here's the problem with food delivery services. If they don't get,
It's expensive.
it's expensive. That's the thing.
So
It's expensive.
expensive.
You decide to you make the decision, is it worth it to pay a $10 delivery fee to get Taco Bell, right? You know what I'm
more.
saying?
Right.
It's
And
not worth it.
and
It's not.
if you do, if it's one of those nights where you just don't want to leave the house and you're going to make this decision, you're going to pay that money. You expect to at least get the food, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this driver literally was in line and told me, yeah, they said they didn't have the order, and then he left and marked it as delivered and charged my card. I think he just took the food home, and then so I have to redo it. And well, what happens when you have to redo an order? You have to pay tip again, and you have to pay the
Yeah.
delivery fee again. So getting a refund isn't enough because you're
Right.
not getting that feedback. 4 orders later, I had all the food.
Oh.
I kept over and over and over customer service to the point where customer service flagged me and said that I was, you know, the system thought I was scamming them. I'm like, but you could see I'm reordering the things that are missing over and over. But the thing is, in customer service, they don't understand that. And usually you're talking to somebody who works in customer service and they have limited
If you
power.
can talk to someone.
Right.
Yeah.
Usually
thing
they're
is,
like,
like-
chat with us on text. Yeah.
DoorDash, I think, has the best customer service compared to the other ones. Like Postmates made me so angry. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm deleting the app. Like,
Yeah.
I really can't. I can't deal with you anymore. Like, and they make it so hard to contact them. And I'm just like, dude, like,
So four
I'm-
orders with DoorDash. I ordered again last night because it was like, I'm going back on my diet today. This is the last, you know, let's order some Jack in a Box. Again, 2 orders, didn't get it right. And it's like, but now I have to pay the delivery fee. And they're like, well, we gave you your money back. And it's like, right, but I don't have my dinner.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter if
Yeah.
I got my money. If I want to order dinner, now I'm going to have to pay $10 delivery fee and a tip again. But
Yeah.
but the reason that this relates is because when you have a client and you've got to provide customer service, that kind of customer service that like Amazon or DoorDash or somebody has that's not enough. And I think that's why my standards are so high, because this is the customer service that I provide to somebody else. I would only expect the same thing back, right? So
Every time. Go ahead. No,
oh, I was just gonna
I'm
say,
gonna add on to it.
my absolute best customer service that I got in the last week of dealing with hours of customer service online was GoDaddy. Surprisingly.
Mhm.
You know, I'm talking like they got on the phone
Did they
with
try
me.
and upsell you though?
They don't.
Because they almost always try and upsell me.
They did, and they didn't do that. They got on. He walked me through every bit of the process. He sent me the article. We stayed on the phone. He made sure that I got it right, and he made sure that the problem was fixed. And then I had an old server that I don't update the Drupal database anymore on, and it got like suspended because I didn't update it, and it's quote unquote vulnerable. And they still charged me for the server this year, even though it's suspended. Okay, we'll cut that off. We'll give you the money back. No problem. Like, that's the kind of customer service that I think is key. Like,
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I always
go ahead.
tell my kid. So we went to McDonald's the other day, right? And I ordered the what is it? What is this? These stupid K-pop bands. They have like a McDonald's meal or
I know what
something.
you're talking about.
Yeah, it's just 10 nuggets meal, a 10 nugget meal with some special sauces, right?
Is it
and
the
so-
Szechuan sauce or what?
No, it's I don't know.
From
what
Rick and
sauce
Morty?
it is.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's-
so
yeah.
I went and they're like, what kind of sauce do you want? McDonald's does this all the time. They always, I have yet to go through McDonald's where they don't mess up my order. You know, like it is guaranteed that if you go to McDonald's, they will mess up your order every time. You know, and so I go through the drive-through. There's no sauce, and so I was like, really, you're gonna
That's
make
why
me
you
go
can't.
inside to go get sauce? Oh, and not to mention like so there. I hate this when drive-throughs do this to you. They're like, "Oh, can you just go ahead and pull forward and then we'll bring it out to you?"
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because you don't have time to check it before they've walked away. For one,
Right.
and two, I've worked in fast food. I know what they're doing. They're just marking it as done and getting it out to you. You know, so it saves their time, right? Anyway, oh yeah, the BTS.
BTS.
meal.
I
That's
love me
what-
some
yeah.
BTS. Oh my gosh,
I
dude.
think-
The
So-
I think-
Oculus Rift Beat Saber thing. Of all,
Oh.
that
Oh,
was
I
so
love
good.
Beat Saber. I actually
Yes.
play that. It's
So
so
I
fun.
keep telling my kid, I had to go inside and I said, can I have some sauce, some barbecue, and then whatever comes with the BTS meal? He gave me 2 sauces. I said, dude, you need to give me more sauce than that. I got 20 nuggets here. 2 sauces ain't gonna be enough.
That's right.
He hands me 2 more, and they're not even barbecue sauce. I got no barbecue sauce. I was so mad. It was like this stupid little nerdy kid, and I just wanted to punch him in his nose. But and
Oh,
I
it's
digress.
50 cents
I-
extra per.
Yeah, I told my kid, I always tell my kid, anytime a fast food, I say, if you're going to do a job, always do the job to the best of your ability, no matter what you're doing, whether you're working in fast food or whether you're working for a corporation. You know, always do it
wanna-
the best you can.
You ever want to mess with them like a prank in the drive-through or like something
Every time.
like I always want to like roll up and like do something crazy, like not like too crazy, but like I
Mhm.
always want to like lighten their day with some kind of weird shit. Like I don't know, I just always want to like throw them off. Like I don't know.
Well, that's
But
why
I
I advocate for better pay because these workers don't want. Of course, these workers don't want to do that, and that's a whole
Yeah.
conversation for like a political podcast. But
Yeah.
you know,
I think the worst customer service is Wells Fargo, and
Oh man, don't get me started.
Dave
dude,
and
so
Wells
like
Fargo.
I would never choose to do business with them.
Mm-hmm.
But my loan for my condo got like sold to them.
Mm.
So
Oh, that sucks.
yeah,
And you're
and then
forced.
they cheated me out of like a ton of money or whatever because that's what they do. And then
Yeah.
I've spent so many hours on the phone with them that so I got an Apple Watch because I was like I'm gonna treat myself because I can't go anywhere. So that was like my little vacation to myself with a purchase. So I got the watch and it told me I had 150 heart rate from just being angry talking to them.
Oh, that's
That's
funny.
And it was like,
funny.
you should calm down. Like, and I'm just like, oh shit, like I'm not okay right now. I'm like, I'm fuming. Like, and I've just had to give up eventually because like, they're just-
You should switch over to Rocket Mortgage,
you
like
can't
Rocket
spend-
Loan.
Well, I mean, I guess if I refinance, but they
Yeah,
can also,
yeah.
like sell your
Dude,
loan. I don't know.
I refinanced through Rocket Mortgage. It was the absolute, as stupid as it sounds, and they're Quicken
This
Loans,
episode
right?
brought to you by Quicken
Brought to you-
Loans.
And GoDaddy apparently.
Yeah.
Please
um,
take out money now.
It was the best experience of my life dealing with loans, right? And I've had to use them for a couple. So the first one, I just randomly, I was like, okay, let's see how much the refinance is for, what rate they can get me, right? So when I first moved into my house, my mortgage was like $2,900. And every 6 months or so, from the first time I refinanced, I'd hit up the guy who I refinanced with and I'd be like, hey, what's the rates? Should I refinance? And he's like, yes, now you should. My rate is now 2.25.
What?
Yeah,
Two?
and my
Dang.
It's
my
insane.
payment has dropped $500 since I moved into my house. But what's great about it is everything is done online. I haven't had
Yeah.
to talk to a single person on the phone, right? And then so I was like, all right, well maybe I'll go through them because I needed a small little loan to cover the extra for our pool that we're building, you know? And so I'm looking online. I was like, I'll go check out Rocket Loans, right? And they're like, okay, you're approved. What interest rate and how many months do you want to pay it off? And so I'm like, okay, I'll click on this one and I'll see what they'll say. I'll probably have to talk to someone. They're like, okay, you're approved. Put in your bank account information. It'll be there in 3 days.
And see, that's
Wow.
good
I didn't
service.
have to talk to a single person, and I got a loan for $25,000.
Wow.
That's great.
Yeah.
But that's coming back to the customer service stuff. It's that's the dilemma, right? Like if you're working, let's say at McDonald's and you're making low pay, you're not going to be very encouraged to do. I mean, it's not your company. You don't care.
When I worked at Domino's, I was making minimum wage $7.50 an hour, and I gave the best customer service I ever.
But
I
that's
could.
that's a
Don't be
personal.
a nice person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Like,
personal
minimum is being-
decision.
yeah.
You've got to decide, okay, I'm going to be good at this job, but not just because of this job, but because I need to build a work ethic that's going to improve as I go. I'm going to get a better job. I'm going to get better pay, but I'm not going to make that if I don't do anything to improve like my work ethic in general. And I think that
So
I started by
I'll
serving
disagree with you on
popcorn.
the better pay by doing a better job, because some of these fast food places will not pay you more no matter how good of a job you do.
Of course.
Like,
understand.
as well as the place that you and I started working together.
Right.
That's
They
the
would
great
not
American
give you no
lie.
matter
That's the-
they would not give us a raise no matter how
You
good
cannot-
you were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Companies want to pay the minimum amount possible for the best amount of work. The only way to make a dent in this world is to be your own boss and freelance.
I feel
I'm
you.
serious. I'm serious.
Yeah, you gotta. That's what I had to learn. Like, you have to move sideways. Like, you can't just like work and be super like great and like try to prove yourself. Like, it just doesn't work all the time. Like, especially if you're young. So it's just like, I think a lot of people like just fall into that trap, and it's just like, yeah, you just gotta, like, if like you close one door, another door will open, kind of
Yeah,
thing. Like,
absolutely.
you gotta move sideways. Like,
But to bring it
That's,
back to the customer service stuff as far as your own business, as far as being a motion designer,
Yeah.
the
You're
reason I
constantly
bring
answering.
this up is because you have to be able to make clients happy in order to get that repeat business. Nobody is
That's
going
for
to
sure.
like if you use the DoorDash model of customer service, which is just apologize profusely with copy pasta every time
Right.
somebody chats you. Oh, we understand how frustrating this can be. Do you? Do you? Did you just spend $75 on Taco Bell because you
Yeah.
made a bad decision and you want it?
It's like buying Taco Bell in Iceland.
Right, because you want it right. That's kind of what I'm getting at is like that kind of work ethic doesn't work for our industry. And
Yeah.
so customer service, if you have a client that brings you a $50,000 job, if you don't do it right, you're not going to get the return business. So it's important to keep in mind some of these things. Which is number one, you've got to be responsive. You've got to make sure that you're, answering emails, phone calls, whatever it is, and balance the expectation at the same time according to what they're paying, right? Like, it's not customer's always right. You need to give me Pixar for $100, but
Right.
you have to be able to have that work ethic, and that work ethic is something that's not necessarily taught in school. So when you go to college, they don't tell you necessarily how to deal with a client and how to make sure that they're happy and how
That's
to,
true. Yeah.
and that also comes into play when you're hiring somebody. If you've got a freelancer that you want to hire to do a job, maybe they have a badass reel.
Yeah.
But then you realize that their customer service isn't good because you hire them for a gig and I'm like, I thought your reel was badass. But then
Yeah.
it takes 5 days for them to answer an email. They're not following directions well or whatever it is. But customer service is something to keep in mind, and when you have experiences with your own problems with customer service, it's important to take that as a lesson and say, here's what I don't want to do as a business. Here's what I don't want my customers to feel like. And I feel like that just gets lost in corporate America, and it is so hard. And so I think about that as far as expanding and doing other things. How do you scale and keep customer service appropriate? Is it impossible? Because you can't scale customer service for DoorDash because you can't talk to the owner every time you have a problem with your meal, right? You got to talk to somebody who has absolutely zero control and has, a what do you call it? A skip logic sheet in front of them as to how they're supposed to respond, you know, and that's not customer service.
Did you know the louder you scream, like the like the louder like I'm not talking about words, I'm talking about just like if you just scream like on the hold lines or with these guys, like they'll pick up faster and they'll deal with you better. Like just literally scream like Time Warner Spectrum. You just scream like for like if you won't be on hold for an hour. You just scream as soon as they put you on hold, and they'll get to you in like 10 minutes.
I heard that, and I don't know if it's an urban legend or whatever, but if you curse when the computer asks you what the problem is, you're more likely to get to somebody quicker. And I'm not kidding.
That's right.
Interesting.
Like the algorithm actually picks up curse words. Anyway, my rant about customer service is just to say it's something to keep in mind, and it's something to learn lessons from when you're having the problems. Because I'm not the type of person that likes to have some sort of hanging issue when it comes to a client. I hate when a client is upset about something. Like it actually gets to me emotionally.
Dave has to to go talk to other people that I've pissed off because
that's true.
He doesn't like leaving it. That's happened a few times.
I have. I like to smooth things over. What's wrong with
it's good to vent because like you don't want to explode at anybody. But I mean like so far with my stuff, like I've never really had any issues with like, you know, people being mad, luckily, but that I know of. But yeah, I'm always responding, and then you always have Slack on everything, and like it's like but everyone's just trying to, you know, it's nice when you're working with a team where it's like chill and like everyone's like willing to joke, and like even if it's a stressful situation, like everyone's still like good mood and stuff. Like if you're like a total downer, like it doesn't help the project, you know, and like so like sometimes it's fun just like to not take things so seriously and just have fun while you're doing it.
It's a definite skill to be able to keep the client, I don't want to say under control because that's a terrible way to put it, but to be able to keep the client happy and to be able to talk them through something if there's an issue, or, you know, because stuff happens, right? You know, something is going to get screwed up. There could be a misunderstanding. We've never had anything super major, but still there are things that you have to smooth over. And honestly, most of the time it's because the client doesn't understand what is out of scope and what's not. Even if you tell them 100 times, these are the steps, these are the amount of changes you get, this is the budget, this is out of scope, they'll still be like upset because of something that is their issue. But again, you're trying to provide that customer service. You've got to tell them how it's their fault without them thinking it's their fault. But anyway, I don't know if there's much more to say about that, but what that's going to segue into for me and for us, I guess, is links.
Okay.
Because the first link that I have today is this is about fully about a company that is too big for its own good, and I think we know that Adobe is too big for its own good sometimes.
Yeah, it is.
And I really, really hate the fact that Adobe is at the point where they can just do whatever they want because you're going to pay for it anyway. That really irks me. And the situation here, and this is where it ties in, is Substance Designer. Because what did everybody say the moment Adobe announced they were buying Substance?
Substance is going to go to crap or something like that.
Right. The whole thing's going to go. They're gonna ruin it or whatever it is. Right. And so far, it feels to me like there has been proof that they don't necessarily care, because what you can get Substance now as part of the cloud package, right?
Can you?
I think that's the new thing. I think that's what everybody's talking about. I haven't looked at cloud, but that's the rumor that I saw. Now they came out with this video, and it's supposed to be talking about Adobe's version of Substance. And this video, there's a couple things wrong. Number one, the number one thing is the video. And sorry, I've got to clear some space on my computer before all my things crash. I did not even think about this today. I thought about it before. You
gotta clear space?
Yeah, I thought about it before we did the show, and I was like, oh man.
It's a real problem.
Yeah, I completely forgot. Okay, if you have not seen this Substance this substance video, you need to look it up, because here's the first problem, is that they're talking about nodes. Okay, now NODE is pronounced node. This entire video, they're saying nods. Okay, now this comes back to quality control. It comes to caring. It comes back to all of this. How did Adobe come out with a video talking about nodes in Substance Designer if they're calling them nods? Sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once and clear my
if I understood correctly, I think the people who the studio who created it were based out of France or something.
They were.
Maybe they just didn't know. I don't know.
So let's say they don't know. Okay,
Their accent.
You know,
Right.
this is an issue with quality control. I don't know if you want to call it customer service or whatever, but did anybody watch that video who knew what a node was?
Yeah, I don't know.
This is what I don't understand, because this is an example of how I feel like Adobe doesn't care what really happens to Substance, because if they cared about it, somebody would have seen that video. Is that not just a slap in the face to the people who are the team that is working on Substance and is doing such a great job with Substance, that this video comes out, they don't show it to them? Because I mean, anybody that was going to see that video on the team would have said there's something wrong here. The Substance team would have said there's something wrong. You're calling them nods. What the hell is your problem? Like, do you not know what a node is? You're Adobe, right? And the team that's working on it, the video, have they not heard of a node before? They're making a motion graphics video, right?
Yeah.
So how does it get to the point where they
especially with all the people who are working on it, it's like, you know what a node is, every motion designer knows what a node is,
right?
Did no one, even like the person editing it, be like, are they mispronouncing this?
Right. This is why I'm just so like dumbfounded right now, because
I hate when people don't do the research. Like,
right.
It's such a minimum amount of research they have to do. Like,
yeah.
So okay, I think I got all my stuff running again, which is good, just to make sure. All right.
You can't do Substance with the thing. You got to pay an additional like $20 a month or $40.
But you can still get it as part of the package if you add to. I think, right? It's like
you're adding
in the cloud.
another $40.
Well, before but before you had to it was a separate program to install. Okay, sorry, I think we have proved that I am not good at doing two things at once, but I didn't want the entire system to crash there, so we're good now. Anyway, to continue my rant here. The next thing that happens is people are looking at it and realizing, aren't those grayscale gorilla textures?
I think Chad realized that.
Yes.
Watching it.
And
so he starts going through and like referencing some of the images that he has from these, and it's like, and the way they presented it made it seem as if these were default Substance textures that you get.
Exactly. And so there are some people that are like, well, I don't understand what the problem is. And it kind of makes sense and it kind of doesn't. Like, think about, let's just say there's a Maxon video, right? And they're showing off somebody using Cinema 4D. And they're showing them using the plugin of Grayscale Gorilla. Now, they're showing off something that you can buy to put in to Cinema 4D and use in Cinema 4D. They're not saying this comes with it. They're not implying that it comes with it. It might be like, oh, you can install plugins, and you see it's in the plugins list. This is more of the video is showing things in the library as if Grayscale Gorilla textures are included in Substance, and that's the difference right there. Like, how are you going to do that and put that in there? Do you not have good enough materials that you can use of your own?
I can tell you what probably happened, because this is the same thing with the nods, right? You have a bunch of higher ups who don't know anything about the stuff, who's just putting this all together, and having worked with, some bigger companies where it's like, hey, we need these assets, and they're like, oh, we don't really have any that we can send to you. Can you just make them?
Make your own.
And so someone was probably like, we'll just take a bunch of assets that are already built and we'll just mock up something. I mean, it's all presentation anyway, not realizing that this is the way it looks like it's coming off as.
Is there no legal department that looks at this stuff? You figure
You'd
that
think there would be.
Yeah, like it's not a small
For a
company.
corporation that big, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
don't know.
Even small
Or
companies.
maybe they don't understand it either,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
There's, like,
guarantee you the
art
legal
lawyers,
doesn't
right?
understand
There's
it.
like specifically art lawyers, but
Right. It's just an example of just not caring. I just feel like it's just proof that they really don't care what happens to Substance. They're buying it and they don't care about the team. I just don't feel like if anybody was overseeing this, that they would let something like that go. Like if somebody did a video for us and they called it Mograph.
Yeah.
Ma.
Some Mograph. Let's
Want
get
some
some.
Mograph?
Or what else did they say in their videos? They didn't call them parameters. They call them parameters.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, what's a
They
they're
could
saying
be-
parameter?
It could be
Now,
European.
that
thing,
might
you
be
know?
a language thing, but it's like me
Yeah.
saying I need to take my temperature with a thermometer, and then I'm going to go make sure that I'm not driving too fast by checking my speedometer.
I think
Speedo.
what's frustrating you is that, like, in our industry, we have to, like, pay so much attention to detail,
Mhm.
and, like, you can't get it wrong. So when you see so many other industries just messing up left and right, you're like, this is, like, for us, it's, like, such, like, muscle memory, like, it's just, like, you have to do it this way. Like, why are you not doing it this way? Like, it doesn't make sense. And we're, like, so logical. We're, like, and then you're just, like, what are you doing?
It's
like,
just
you're
so
just, like,
important.
yeah.
Like, it's just such an important thing, and like Substance is such a great tool, and it's so great for so many artists, and like it just makes me feel like Adobe literally doesn't care. They just wanted to grab something else that they can charge you an extra $40 a month for. They don't care about the actual art and about the actual. It's not like. And Chad was talking about this in Slack this morning. That's and it really got me thinking about this. And he was talking about companies that care and companies that don't care. And like look at Maxon. Maxon literally cares so much about the artist experience when you're inside the tool. And if you are having a problem, there's going to be customer service. You could hit them up in our Slack and they would help you. They're going to drop everything to help you. Matt's got to pee again. And,
what if I left too? You're just like, what would you?
Yeah, I'll just sit here by myself. So like another example, like you heard people talking for years about Maxon's UV tools, right? And how people wanted better UV tools. And Maxon didn't say, oh, it's just fine. I don't see what the problem is. They said, yeah, we know, we're working on it. And I don't think that's what Adobe would do. I don't feel like they even care. Like, I feel like anytime that I've tried to talk to anybody at Adobe about anything, it's so corporate-y and red taped that there's nothing genuinely human left about it. And that's what irks me. And the same thing applies to Blackmagic. Now, I have another link. Now, I will say that I like Blackmagic products, even though they get a bad rep for being like the prosumer-ish kind of camera. I really do like their products, and there are some things that are really weird, like when you want to download their software, every time it asks you for your email address. I'm like, I just need a driver update.
You could work in a DaVinci Resolve too, which I really love how it's like linked. And like after working in DaVinci Resolve, like I used to do After Effects for all my Blackmagics. For like shooting stuff. But then once we got the Blackmagic, like I've been working more in like DaVinci Resolve, and like it's just like night and day. It's like it transcodes footage so fast.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, oh my god, what have I been doing this whole time? So I love Blackmagic.
Yeah.
I have one too. Yeah.
The problem is doing the learning curve on it, because editing is way different. I even got it, and I got this thing. Let's see. Can't reach it. So check this out. This came free with it. It's actually called Speed Editor. It took me a long time to get it, but I got this little control that came free with it. Like, it's really cool stuff.
It finally came.
How'd you get that?
Yeah, it took a while. It was on order for like
that free stuff.
it was a deal on B&H, but I had to wait like 4 months for it. But
Right.
the back to the customer service part of it, there's a cascading effect that happens when you don't think about how an artist really uses something. So I upgraded this camera. I got a new Blackmagic 6K, and the codec is different on it, right? So in order to play back any of your new footage now, you're going to have to reinstall all of their software. So I reinstalled their codec, and it wouldn't run with Premiere 2019, which, yes, I'm on 2019. So I go to Premiere 2020 because I have it installed. I just don't use it because I have problems with it. Because, again, very simple things that just consistently don't work. Everybody tells me I need to go to Resolve. Blackmagic codec doesn't work in there. It says your codec is outdated.
Really?
Or yeah, this only works with the new version of Premiere. I'm like, that's weird. So I get Premiere 2021. Okay. That's the latest version. It's 15.2. It's Premiere 15.2. Guess what doesn't work in Premiere 15.2? The Blackmagic codec. It says this only works in Adobe Premiere 15.4. I'm like, there is no 15.4. What does that mean? I look it up. It's the beta. It only works with the beta version of Premiere.
She's fresh.
So there's all of that. So now back to Adobe. I open up Premiere. You would not believe some of the things that they're trying to do with Premiere. And I guess some of them might be good, but like it comes back to they're trying to appeal to the consumer. They're trying to do this, Final Cut X. Like, just where's Final Cut now? Because they tried to dumb
I
it
love
down.
Final Cut Pro, and when they went to X, it was like, oh, you've ruined it. We need 7. Like, it's just like, no.
Yeah.
Like, what have you done?
It's like, I just need an editor that works. And the same thing with After Effects.
Simple.
RAM preview that doesn't work. It's like these companies get too big for their own good. So moving forward, when I'm working on my own things and my own companies and things, I'm like, what is going to allow this to scale in a way that is not going to forget about the reason that it's here? What is Mograph going to be in 10 years? I don't know. I have an idea of what it's going to be, but what I don't want it to be is something that's so out of touch with the artist that everybody's like, screw these guys. I don't care. Anyway, I'll end my rant, but it just kind of all linked in, the customer service, the different things, and I hope that people keep that in mind when they're working with their own clients, customers, whatever you want to call it, because I think it's super important to keep them happy. That's how you're going to make money. End rant. I'm sorry. I went off for like an hour, I feel like, while dealing with this space on my hard drive. So, that being said, I'll move over to the other stuff here. I had a link 2 weeks ago that I wanted to talk about, which was Raphael Rao. He did this Game Boy render that was so awesome. It was like a Game Boy opened up in the different pieces. So it's called Love Letter. Check that out. And then also, I wanted to mention that Teddy came out with a new HDRI pack. This is Rad Scientist. Came out with a new HDRI pack, and I just got to say, I love the marketing that he did on this. He sent out an email, and it said support ticket number blah, blah, blah for HDRIs, and I opened it, and it's like, gotcha, didn't I? Now that I have your attention, here's our new HDR pack. Really cool. So check that out. And now, let's go back to you, Rachel, so we won't be talking about my rants anymore. Let's talk about some of your favorites. This is Mograph Recommends, and we want to ask you some of your favorite movies, TV shows, all of that. We're going to start, though, with your favorite movie. Any of these things can be either recent or all-time. Doesn't matter. It's up to you.
God. I'm like drawing a blank. But I could start with shows, because shows have really been doing it for me lately. Because like I really love The Boys on Amazon.
I've heard good things.
Oh yeah,
dude, I love how like they go super dark. Like dark humor is really like, I love that stuff, and I love all the Marvel stuff too. So I love all those movies. Like I love how everything is like so linked together and like well planned. Like it's not rushed. Like so I really love that stuff. I know both of them happen to be superhero things. It's not like I'm super into superheroes or anything. I just really love the storytelling in those. As for movies, I mean, let me see. Yeah, I have to think about that one. I mean, I've just been seeing like Marvel movies. So. Like that's what I go out to pay to see. You know what I mean? So because it's such a nice experience. So I don't know what's gonna happen with the movies with all the pandemic transitions and stuff like that, but. It's always fun to like go to the movies and like be around all these like super fans and everyone's screaming at the same time and like, yeah, that's just such a nice ride. So.
And Kevin says that The Boys is good,
gosh.
but he will never stop talking about Breaking Bad or The Wire.
Apparently, neither will we on
I
this
mean,
show.
Breaking
Oh, I
Bad's
guess
good.
not.
It's classic.
Yeah. So we kind of covered movies and TV shows at once, which is awesome. What about favorite music?
I really like ZHU. Like, I love like when you go to his shows, he does like these amazing light shows. Like sometimes like his music just sounds better in person. Because I know some of it can just sound like too much electric. But yeah, I really love that stuff. Like, 'cause his light shows are just so cool, and they have like an actual saxophone guy, and like a guitarist also. So he's like does electric music, but he also has like these real musicians there. So I always really love his work. And then I like Glass Animals because their lyrics are really off the wall.
Glass
Like they have one
Animals.
song about like pineapples and like one's about pork soda, and it's just like really weird like concepts, and it's just strange. So
What
I don't
kind
know,
of what kind of genre is that?
Glass Animals, I don't know, it's probably I don't even know what they are. Like I just love their lyrics. Like it's just like they're just like they have this one song where they're like pineapples in my head, and it's just like okay, like that's crazy, but I like it. Like
So
They're a pop band.
yeah, they kind of do a little bit of rap, but
Do you-
they're also. But I also like The Weeknd too. Speaking of,
yeah, I
but
like me
Okay.
some Weekend. It's pretty good.
everyone loves The Weeknd.
What about K-pop? Of course, you know.
I don't really listen to much K-pop, but whenever I listen to it, I'm like, oh, that's really catchy. It's like very catchy.
It
Like
is.
I always love it, like when I'm listening to it, but I usually don't seek it out. But
Right. It's fun
yeah,
to play
I
Beat
always
Saber
appreciate
too.
it. I don't even know if I've listened to BTS, but yeah, I don't.
Yeah, the BTS Beat Saber pack is freaking fantastic. Like, if you're into Beat Saber,
Yeah, I love Beat Saber.
even if you don't know their music, like now I know their music. It's great. But speaking of which, video games. What do you play?
Yeah, Beat Saber. I'm like answering these questions
Right.
like ahead of time. Sorry.
It's all good.
I really loved Assassin's Creed, like all those games back from like 1, 2, and 3 with Brotherhood and those ones. Like I really loved how they like intertwine like history and like actual like historical places into their story, and then also mixed it with like weird shit. Like I don't know, I just like sci-fi. Like I like when you have two genres and they mix them together. It's
And
not
Sonic.
just like one formula. Oh yeah, and Sonic
Yeah.
the Hedgehog. Although they're completely different now than they were. They're definitely catering to a younger audience now. Before it
Yeah.
was like he was actually cool. Like if you see the movie, like he's like it's definitely like lowered down to like I still enjoyed the movie, but it's definitely like you can tell everything's like not. He's not the bad boy hedgehog now. He's more
Yeah.
like like
Mhm.
oh, like I don't
Got
know,
to go
like
fast.
Thanos, I don't. I'm just like I'm not.
Do you think they'll bring Ugandan Knuckles into the next one?
I'm worried because like
Gone
they
Knuckles.
ruined him. They made him super ripped and made him like the formula dumb guy. But like in the original series, he was really smart. He was like the smart, serious one.
Oh, yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
later, like he's like super buff and dumb, and they're falling into that trope of like, oh, big like strong people are stupid. Like I don't know. I
Right.
just don't like that. Like yeah, this is watered down now.
Yeah.
But I appreciate them because that's why I got into art. But yeah, that's I could rant on forever for this.
Do you listen to any podcasts?
No, I just sleep.
That sounds like a better option, honestly.
Yeah.
It really does.
I really want to get into more, but I'm just always working, and then I sleep, eat, work, and then yeah, it's hard to even fit in exercise. So yeah,
I
hard
like
to,
that
like-
life.
What's
Don't
your?
have kids. They'll completely ruin that life.
Oh,
I'm not
gosh.
excited.
Don't
I could
listen
have
to
a cat.
him.
You know,
What
cat,
about?
maybe.
Uh,
a rat maybe.
we're all over the place on the list. I'm trying to. Which ones have we not covered? Favorite plugin. What's your favorite plugin to use?
I like Sapphire, but honestly, like I usually don't use that much. Like Sapphire will add like another layer of like it'll make it look nice and premium. So I really like it. We also have Red Giant, but yeah, I usually try and steer away from it because sometimes when you work at studios, they may not have the license
Right.
and it's a whole headache, especially with work from home because you gotta fight the IT guy about it, and then it never happens. The amount of time it takes them to get you that plugin, the job's already done. So it's
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
there's no time for plugins a lot of the time. Yeah, but it definitely like yeah, Sapphire will really make something look nice because they really have chromatic aberration down. Like it looks really
Yeah.
good.
That's one of
But,
the things that I've always liked about having packages now like Red Giant Universe is either somebody's going to have all the plugins or none of the plugins.
Yeah.
Right? Like you don't have to worry
Right.
about it as much because sometimes it's like, man, I could make this look really good if I could just use this plugin, but I can't because
Yeah.
I have to give this project to someone and they don't have it. Right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, and then they're gonna have to redo the work that you did. So like,
Yeah.
like I had a recent project where like I had to redo because I didn't have that plugin, even though I really like that plugin because I'm paying for this one and I don't want to pay for that one. Like, and then like again the IT stuff. So like yeah, a lot of times I really just try and stick to making it simple and like as best I can and try and like just experiment with stuff. And I usually like never get to the plugin aspect of it. I'm sure that's not like. I mean, some people love plugins. I'm just I never have time.
Yeah. And app, what is your go-to? What's your muscle memory app on your phone?
On my phone?
Mhm.
Oh, shit.
Are you an Instagram person? Are you a TikTok person?
You know, I was like, not really like, I don't know. I've been trying to get more into social media now because I was talking to this really good artist named, he goes by like Stylo. I think you probably heard
Oh
of
yeah,
him. He's,
Stylo.
like,
I'm trying to get
Yeah.
him on the show.
he's great. But yeah, he like messaged me. He's like, your social media sucks. Like he's just like he's just being honest with me and like being like
Funny.
you're like he's just trying to say I could do better. Like he was always complimenting my work, but he was just trying to say like you need to get better on your social game. So like from that point I was like, he's right. I'm gonna try. So then I made my profile like not private, made it public. Like I did all these things and like so I've been slowly rolling into it. And yes, I use Instagram. I recently got Twitter, which I am very like not in my comfort zone
Yeah.
at all.
Twitter.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I use Messenger a lot. Like I don't really use Facebook, but I use LinkedIn. I know you were talking shit about LinkedIn, but I use LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But
Oh, we've gotten some gigs from it. It's
We've
just
yeah, 2 of our biggest gigs ever we
Yeah.
got from LinkedIn. But,
yeah.
yeah.
There's
but-
but it's just very corporate-y. And,
Yeah.
and you know it's hit or miss like that, right? Like you'll get one big thing and then you won't get anything off of it for a year or
Yeah.
something.
yeah, I usually just keep it as like it's like my notes for myself, so I know where I worked through the year when I'm doing taxes. Like I just
Yeah,
fill it out
that's
because I'm like
fine.
I need to remember I worked here, here, and here, and like this
Yeah.
is 1099 and this is not. So like it's really just like a note page for myself. But
That's
Yeah.
funny.
CV or it's a place to you make sure that you can mark your work anniversary
Mhm.
because that's so important.
I've
Yeah.
seen a lot of people get work anniversaries and they don't not even working at that company anymore. I'm
Yeah.
like, you don't even work
Right.
there
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
just don't update their LinkedIn. I don't know what to say. I'm like, cheers. Like,
It's like my sole
I don't know
proprietorship
what to
was called Cawsome Media. And like it's just been on my profile for like 10 years and people are like, congratulations on 10 years with Cawsome Media. I'm like, you don't know me, do you?
Yeah.
And why does it matter? Like, why is a year anniversary like a big deal? I don't know.
have you gotten like some weird requests like to add you on LinkedIn? Because like I've had some really weird ones.
Mhm.
Like there's always like one where there's like some guy and he's like sweaty and he's in front of like 60 monitors and like and I'm just like I don't know if I want to accept this one. Like,
Sweaty in front of.
He's
He's like comic book guy.
Yeah, he's like super like I get some really creepy like yeah. So maybe it's different when you're a girl. You get some weird like they're always like sometimes like some of my friends that are also on LinkedIn that are girls like will all get that guy will like try and add all of us and I'll be like yeah I saw that guy and it's just like yeah so like that happens a lot.
Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of creepsters. Okay, life hack, the big one. Mitch Meyer says turn the toaster on its side for some bomb-ass grilled cheese.
What? Sounds like a fire.
It might be, or it might be fire.
That's
One of the
super
two.
Keep your
fire.
fire extinguisher near.
Yeah. So what would you say?
That's
Do
my
you
hack.
do you have? It could be either like a productivity thing. It could be something about like something random like the toaster. But do you have kind of a life hack? I feel like you do.
I have several, but I mean like what's it for mental health? Do a brain dump and write everything you have to do on a piece of paper, like, and then like organize it and like set it up by like write a calendar for like the week and like organize it and put everything in there and like step by step everything you have to do, whether it's projects, life, car, whatever,
Mhm.
and like just keep it organized and do that every single day, and that will help you when you're like super overwhelmed, because sometimes when I get like really overwhelmed and like stress and stuff, that really helps keep me in check because you're constantly updating your schedule. I know it sounds like super common sense, but honestly, it's like that really helps like keep my head together.
Totally agree.
Another thing is like if you suffer with camera shake, you could like when you're filming something, you can get pillows and you can like make sure you're walking on the pillow only, or like if you're kneeling down doing like some crazy thing, like if you just kneel down on the pillow, it'll reduce and soften that camera shake.
I like
so
that
sometimes
one.
that's a life hack for you. So I have like
For
a
sure.
really dirty ass pillow that's like it just looks terrible. There's like paint all over it. It doesn't have a pillowcase on it. But yeah, like that's a good life hack.
With the writing the things down, oh man, I'm telling you, yeah, like Scott says, it's the GTD technique. It's getting things done, and if there's one thing that I've taken away from it, because I don't do it to a T, but if there's one thing I've taken away from GTD over the years, is the writing down. Even if you're not putting it somewhere, even if you're not categorizing it, even if it's just one long big list, your brain, if it's not written down on your outboard brain, in the back of your head, in your subconscious, is going around in circles trying to remember, don't forget about that thing, don't forget about that thing, don't forget about that thing. And then when you multiply that by 100, you're stressed and you're like kind of irritated and you don't know why. You're like, why? I'm so uptight. And it's like, oh, well, that's because I'm trying, my subconscious is trying to remind me of all the things that I have to do because it's afraid I'm going to forget, which is even worse if you're like ADHD, you know? So, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, and I've had people like look at me and be like, why are you making a list? Like, you're wasting time doing something when you could be getting those things done. And I'm like, no, this makes me so much more efficient. Like,
absolutely.
If like if I do this, I can stay on track. Because like if I don't, then like it's much harder to manage. So it really helps.
Yeah. Okay, I think that it is time that we do the drop.
Let's do the drop.
All right.
The drop.
Is this the fucking mic?
Drop.
This is exactly what I should be doing.
What's up, and welcome to this week's episode of The Drop, your weekly source for all things NFT and crypto art, as well as upcoming drops by notable people in the Mograph industry. I'm Matt Milstead, joined by Dave Koss, and joining us this week is Rachel Brickel. Let's get into some drops of this week. Hold on, let me bring up my my list.
My list.
You know what?
What's funny? What's up?
No. I was gonna say, I'm very proud of Nifty Gateway this week. Super proud.
Oh, they got you your stuff on time. They were listening to you.
I mean, yeah, they did have it on time. Of course, I also waited until super late to actually get my list together. But I'm very proud of them. They only have one person per day every day, with the exception of one day. You know, and I think that's really cool. They're lessening the amount of drops. I think it's awesome. I think that's great. I think that's the way to do it, because then you focus on that one particular artist and stuff like that. You make it all about them, which is awesome. That's good. That's the way it needs to be. So, starting off, Nifty Gateway 628. That is today, Monday. An artist that goes by the name of Thank You X is doing a drop. Thank You X is all about this like mixture of like actual physical art. Dave, can you click on the Thank You X Twitter account and you'll see one of the pieces that they have done. If you go down, that one right there. So this is like an actual physical piece that they've embedded like a digital piece into it as well. Yeah, kind of neat. So, it's like a physical artist going into the NFT space and stuff like that. I think it's really neat. So, interesting to see what they actually drop this week. Tomorrow, 6/29, they are doing a Nifty Pride to celebrate Pride Month. They're releasing 5 different collections, bringing together some of the world's biggest creative, visual, and musical artists in celebration of the LGBTQ community, which is very cool.
Cool.
Very exciting about that. And then July 1st, we'll start off with Mr. Doodle.
Mr. Doodle.
Nice.
And y'all should know, people should know Mr. Doodle. I love Mr. Doodle. Yeah, click on.
Ooh.
So
Wow.
like
a lot of doodle.
Probably seen a lot of Mr. Doodle's work around like social network and stuff like that. You know, is a really prominent like physical artist. You know, in the space, which is cool. It's neat to see Mr. Doodle do an actual like NFT drop and stuff. Interesting to see what it'll look like. That same day, woot woot, Gavin Shapiro is doing another drop.
Yeah.
Super excited to see what he is dropping.
Flamingos.
I don't know exactly. I don't know if it's gonna be flamingos or penguins or something like that.
Is it
Who
what's
knows,
on the
maybe.
screen here? Is it this thing? The
It could
wing
be
of
it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to be introducing stuff leading up to the opening. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds-
Interested to see what he drops July 1st.
Is
But
this
we love
his
Gavin Shapiro.
Yeah, is this his first Nifty or no? I can't remember.
No. I
Which-
bought like a couple of Gavin Shapiro's things. He's done several drops.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if it's on
on
Nifty or
Nifty.
not. Yeah.
Yeah, they've all been on Nifty. He's I've made some money off of Gavin, which is great, you know. So yeah. On the second, Mr. Misang, I believe is how you say the name. I probably butchered that.
That might
But
be
kind of
right.
neat little like digital or like glitchy animation stuff. Very cool looking stuff. I liked it. You know, that's on July 2nd, and then finally July 3rd. I'm gonna assume the name is pronounced Noise, Nois 7.
Oh, nice.
You know,
All
how
these people using
artists,
these
like-
numbers for letters.
Right.
Good names.
So this is a trailer of the upcoming Woke Up in a Dream dropping on the 3rd. I didn't really look through it. I just put it in there. But yeah, a lot of like still images and stuff like that. Looks very Josh Pierce esque or Stuzor esque. You know, those little landscape ones. So pretty neat stuff. Next up for Maker's Place, 6/29 tomorrow. The what is it? The athlete Kyle Lowry collaborated with Corbin Portillo to do like a drop inspired by Kyle's career in
Well, this is cool looking.
basketball.
Good guess.
You're like, ball go far.
Ball go far.
Yeah. It's
so
just
yeah.
like me. I know nothing about sports.
I
I
know.
don't
Like,
watch
I could
sports at all.
not tell you.
I couldn't care less about sports. I don't even know why. I mean, this looks really cool. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say
Yeah,
that. But I'm
no.
just saying, like,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't know anything about sports.
interesting little collaboration there. And then on the 20, we got Frenetic Void. I freaking love Frenetic Void.
On the 30th. Wait, on the 30th?
The 30th. Yeah, sorry,
Okay.
the 30th. The 30th that we've got
Frenetic
Frenetic Void.
Void, yeah.
Frenetic Void is
Gummies?
doing a drop. I love Frenetic Void's work. I think they're one of my favorite digital artists out there right
Oh, it
now.
looks like a smile.
Yeah.
Right?
This is yeah.
So-
Gum, gummy, and gum come together as surreal hybrids. Okay.
Yeah. Frenetic Void creates these like super like I don't know, just weird and like really surreal looking stuff. And I just dig their work. I dig their work.
Do you think that he also took gummies? Well.
Yeah.
Oh.
Probably maybe. There's
Okay.
a good chance of that.
Yeah.
And next up, for
Oh,
last month,
snap.
July 1st, our boy David Ariev is, if you've seen the Down on the Render Farm video that he did for his course for School of Motion, he is auctioning it off as an NFT. Like this is it's such good work.
Play the video
Yeah,
here.
you gotta hit
Yeah,
play.
There we go.
See that beautiful bee and all the
Roll that
all the-
beautiful bee footage.
She gorgeous.
right?
I love
It's
this.
so pretty. I
Yeah,
love it.
I
yeah.
love what he did with like the servers on the.
Yeah,
So good.
yeah.
It's so good. Love
Super
it.
dig it. So yeah, he's releasing that on the 1st. So yeah, that's it as far as the main drops. For community drops, Smearballs is doing a drop on the 30th on Super Rare. Did a collab with Eric Andre, which is super cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah,
I
we
kind
got
of want to
to work
pause
with-
this and break it down. Like,
Right?
oh, we got the audio
So
going.
there's Eric
we go.
Andre.
Good
Yeah. Did he
There's
3D
Eric
scan him? I
Oh,
guess.
I'm sure. You know,
Does that guy have an arm
had
coming out of his butt?
we had the pleasure of working with Eric Andre on a piece for Adult Swim,
Oh, I
which was a
forgot
lot of
about
fun.
that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, right.
You got bird up.
Wow, I
So,
forgot about that.
Yeah, super great to work with. Super fun guy to work with. So, and then yeah, so that's the one that's dropping on Super Rare for Smearballs. You know,
That's
love
funny.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got for the drops. I do want to mention though that Beeple released his new project. It is what's the name
It's
of it?
We.new.
We.new.
We
right.
knew. And
We knew.
he
So-
did like a teaser the other day, and I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
And then it was announced, and it's basically like doing NFTs for events, like historical
so
events
sports
or
events.
moments.
Yeah, absolutely, which is cool. So they're like, you know, like on the page right now, you can see there's editions of 1, 20, 50, 100, 500, which is cool. It's like owning a digital, you know, collector card for sports cards.
So
and
do
stuff
you
like
get
that.
like a photograph? Like what is tied to the blockchain on this? You get a
Uh,
photograph of the
I'm-
moment? Do you own the moment itself? Like how does that work?
I honestly don't know. We should have Mike back on the show or talk to him at camp, but I'm assuming. Let's see, so.
I haven't had time to really like look into it. I'm
Auction.
sure it says.
Okay, so it includes the play tennis with Andy for 30 minutes at All
Okay.
England Club, 2
Ooh.
VIP tour experiences, and center court tickets to Wimbledon Gentlemen's Final 2022. All 5 NFTs in the Andy Murray and Wimbledon series, physical artifacts of all 5. So that's probably the physical one that you're looking at right there.
Our team.
Wimbledon 2013 program signed by Annie, Wimbledon 2021 poster signed by Annie. That's cool. So you get all these like additional physical things as well, you know, as the NFT and stuff like that. So that's cool. That's good. See, and I think the physical aspect of the NFTs will really help people who are having a hard time understanding the NFT space and stuff. Oh my gosh, look at Mike. That's hilarious.
I was gonna say the accuracy of this drawing of Mike is not.
Right.
I mean, he's not dressed like an accountant in this photo.
No, he's not.
I really.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird not seeing him with an eye on.
That's funny.
But that's cool. Yeah, I'm super excited for Mike and like this new endeavor and stuff like that. I mean, you know, it's it's raining over here.
Oh yeah,
now.
it's raining here too.
Like, is it?
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah.
Rachel, you into the NFTs?
Actually, I just like finished one I wanted to post last night, but I wanted
yeah?
to work on the sound a bit. So,
Where are you gonna be
I'm not-
posting it?
Yeah.
I'm actually on Foundation.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm on it's just Rachel Brickel, just my name. But yeah, I'm gonna post something maybe in a week or two. I don't know. Let me look at my schedule.
Do you have the
But
account?
yeah,
Do you have the foundation account? We can link to it in
Yeah.
the show notes.
Yeah.
Here you go.
actually.
I am putting it in the chat right now. There you go.
Oh, you found it.
I did,
Ooh,
yeah.
Sweet.
Oh, okay.
Just your name, so it's easy.
Yeah.
At least I hope
Cool.
that's you.
Do you put at in it? Is that? Let me see.
No, that's that.
I think
just
they
copied
do-
and pasted it.
I think it is an at, right? Yeah.
Oh, let me look this up.
Yeah. Uh oh.
Yeah, out the app.
Uh-oh. Look who's
Out
here.
the app. Oh, hi, Dorpy.
Hey, Matt. I just got back
Going
from
on?
vacation, and I got a
Yeah?
little R&R in my pup tent.
Oh gosh.
You know?
What's is R&R?
Ah! I think he scared him away. That's a big bird.
That is a big bird.
Got a bird up.
I think he's
Yeah.
really scared. So,
All right.
hi there, bird. I think he's a little shy. So, I just sold my one of my NFTs for 0.1 ETH. So, I'm going to quit my day job and I'm going to do it full time.
I love that there was a second bird. Wait, you just sold it for 0.1 ETH, so now you're retiring? Wait, what? I'm confused.
Yeah.
Say that again.
Yeah. I sold it for 0.1 ETH and I'm going to quit my day job and do NFTs full time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What's your full time? What's your day job?
No comment. But anything is possible.
Oh gosh. Oh boy.
Yeah. I gotta get out of here though. I gotta start investing all this crazy NFT money I'm getting. Gotta roll over into my 401k.
Oh my gosh. All right. Rachel.
It's gonna be raining ETH pretty soon. Like in
Right.
the music videos. Like I like big mutts and I cannot lie.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I'm scared of the bird. Bye.
All right.
You should be.
Where?
Oh my gosh.
Can I ask where you get giant bird masks?
Oh, Amazon. Amazon has everything.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's true.
So
That's
this
true.
this one really smells like latex. Like they tell you, like, oh, it'll have a slight latex
Right.
smell, but you
Yeah.
can smell it out of the box. Like the box isn't even open.
Yep.
You can just smell it. So it's really bad.
I
but-
bought one of those horse ones that everyone had, you
oh,
know.
yeah, traditional.
And that one just stunk. I could not keep it
Wow.
anywhere because it just stunk up
Yeah.
whatever room I had it in.
You gotta keep it
Yeah.
outside and like let it air out for a while.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
how the
totally.
horse masks ones are that everybody has. The big horse faces.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
all
Yeah,
the
that's what it
rage.
was. Yeah. It
Yeah.
was so
Oh, that's what it was. It was a horse. Okay.
Yeah, it was the horse
I missed
one.
that. Yeah. There's also these other ones that you can get now that like go perfectly over your face, so you look like a person, like the mouth and the eyes and everything fit
Yeah.
form.
Yeah.
Super
Weird.
creepy. Super
Yeah.
creepy.
Dave, I gave you a really good still for the drop
Oh,
thing.
what's
I
the-
was going like this.
Why?
You know, I don't know. So I figured
Oh.
you could
Oh,
you know,
okay.
use that for your photo cover
Oh,
or
okay.
whatever.
I'll look for it.
Oh.
I'll look for it and make sure.
It looks
Yeah.
for your smile.
I got to say though, I've been using an app because I was using
Yeah.
what is it called? I was using Topaz to try and upscale. So
Yeah.
there is this app, and it's hit or miss, but it really does do a pretty freaking good job every time.
Yeah.
It's called Remini or Remini, REMINI, and it's so good that I take my photos from you and I put them in my phone to do the AI upscaling. It is freaking fantastic. You can take photos, like crappy compressed photos from a long time ago, and it does this voodoo where it combines AI with photos of other people to bring out like eyes and like recreate features. So it's not always perfect, but
It's really fun to take a really low res one and put it in there and see what they give you.
it actually works pretty well. So I can take like a still from the compressed show file and make a high res photo of you for the show art. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Very
Anyway,
cool.
are we done with the drop?
All right. Yeah, let's get out of here. So if you have a community, if anyone out there is doing a drop for the week, make sure to hit us up, info@mograph.com, and we'll get you featured on the show. Yeah, until next week.
All right. We'll see ya.
See ya.
To drop.
Is this the fucking mic? This is exactly what I should be doing.
All right, and we're back.
And I have a feeling
This
that's
is-
how future drops are gonna go. That's short and sweet,
Yeah.
to the point.
This has
You know?
been a really random show. I just got to say,
Yeah.
we have covered
Yes.
everything. I think
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah. Well,
From-
I mean, that's also, you get a great guest like Rachel.
That's
Oh,
right.
thank you.
And you also
Yeah.
take 2 weeks off. There's a lot to talk about. So,
And
you
we
know.
can go on rants about things like customer service while our hard drive's
Right.
crashing. You know. Did you did I miss this? Did you tell us what the bird head was for? I know where you got it, but
Yeah,
what is
did
it
you
for?
Did you buy it for a job?
Yeah,
or
was
did
it-
you just have it?
Usually my style is that I bought it for a job, but no, this one I just bought because one of my friends was having a housewarming party and like only like 2 people, like not even like a
Mhm.
party, you know what I mean? And like we're all vaccinated and like so we're like okay, like maybe we'll try and come over. So I was just making the joke and I was like, is this a mask on party or?
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
So I came in
That's
the
funny.
door with like these masks.
you told me to wear a mask.
I was like, are we keeping masks on or?
What is that? A seagull?
It's a dove.
No, the other one was a dove. Is that a seagull?
No, that's
That's
a
a
dove.
dove
The
too?
other one was a
This is
pigeon.
supposed to be a dove and this
Oh.
is supposed to be a pigeon.
Yeah.
Oh,
But,
okay, okay. That's a.
The thing
okay.
is, I
Can't you
got
tell
this
by the
one
beak?
first.
Come on.
This
Yeah.
one wasn't creepy enough, so I had to get this one.
That is, I think that is the creepier of the two, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Scared Dorpy to death, I'll tell you that.
He was speechless.
Yeah.
Yep.
In reality, I just couldn't think of a funny joke. But,
You forgot. Okay.
yeah, I'm not spontaneous enough. I have to write my own material. Yeah. I'm not good
That's
at
funny.
improv. Maybe I should take classes. Cool. Well, what-
Rachel, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
What do you
Yeah.
What do you got coming up? What are you working on, and where can people find you online
Yeah.
to keep?
I'll be in
contact?
Hawaii.
Oh
Yeah, when
snap.
you going? And
No,
which
I'm
island?
going on vacation. I'm tired.
You got all the gear for Hawaii, as we
Yeah.
saw.
Which island are you going to?
I'm going Kauai. I'm probably not pronouncing
Kauai?
it right. Sorry.
My parents are moving there this week.
Really? Oh my God,
Yeah.
you're living the dream.
Yeah, well, my dad hates Hawaii.
Yeah.
He's been
Oh,
there
no.
for he's been there for probably 2 or 3 years out of the past 5. They've got him working, and he despises Hawaii. He's the only person I've ever met who does not like the beach and does not like being outside.
Oh wow, that's so
Yeah,
sad.
I gotta
he's
say,
he's a curmudgeon.
the beach is okay for me for a couple days, but I'm the same way. I'm very
Man,
fair
I love the
skinned.
beach.
I love snorkeling. I'm afraid of
Yeah.
sharks though. Do you know? Okay, another life hack.
There you go.
Related to Mograph. Sharks like to eat things that are yellow. It's Y for yummy. Yes. So don't wear yellow swimsuits
Interesting.
Okay.
or
Yeah.
red.
Why is that?
Obviously.
Okay. Oh, red because of blood. Yeah.
Hmm.
Maybe.
They're looking for.
But maybe is the yellow like more visible under the water? Is that why?
It's a contrast, I guess.
Yeah, I can see
to their
that.
eyes.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
May save your life. I don't know. There's not that many shark attacks, but.
You say Mograph saved
don't
my
know.
life from a shark attack.
Yeah.
Their friend was wearing
trying to
yellow
live,
and they're
man.
dead.
Yellow is the new color of death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to pull off yellow.
So yeah,
Rachel, where can people find you?
Huh?
Where can
Rachel.
people
Anywhere.
find
Rachel
Anywhere.
Brickel,
Okay.
Brickel.tv, and you got the
Yeah, sure.
Instas.
Yeah, come on, you got to up your social game,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
So
Yeah.
Rachel.
We're giving you a
Brickel,
chance to up your
Instagram.
social game.
You can follow me there if you want to, and then I'm going to try to do better at posting. And then foundation, I'm definitely going to do some NFTs. I'm working on 2 different collections actually, and having like one of them is like going through it's like called Gold Trash. So I've been working on that one, and that kind of has to do with like my journey and stuff like that. So it's really like more meaningful felt. But yeah, and I'm also working on another one that's like a social commentary on like basically brainwashing and the world
Yeah,
being messed up.
kind of a
like it.
Bo
Bo
Burnham type situation.
The
Bo Burnham
one that
Inside
I'm
is so
gonna
good.
release soon is more like practical experiments. So I think I'm gonna do some like different like practical experiments and have some colors and things like that, and really experiment and like put those things up. So
Cool.
that's what I'm working on.
Cool.
Cool. And tell Stylo that you're working on your social game. It's
Mhm.
getting there. And tell Stylo to hit us up because I
Yeah,
tried to hit him up and he didn't answer
Yeah.
me, and I'm sad
I don't
because
know where's that.
he's hilarious.
Yeah, he's great. He's also like he's great.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Thanos is great.
we're
He's
go-
also amazing.
I think
Thanos.
I thought I had one more link for some reason that I missed, but I guess I'll find it next week. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We're gonna get out of here. You can rate us on iTunes, leave a review. You can also subscribe on your podcatcher of choice. It helps get our ratings up. You can subscribe to our newsletter. You can say you've been there, done that, got the t-shirt with the Mograph logo tee, the Paul Bab Feel the Bab 2020 shirt. All the profits from that go to Doctors Without Borders. The Render Things t-shirt, hoodie, and long sleeve tee. The That Render is Fire shirt, which you're only allowed to wear ironically, unless you're shams.
Unless you're shams.
And that render, and the Mograph blandishment shirt. All that stuff is on mograph.com/merch, and I fixed the links for the ones that weren't working. I realized some of the links weren't working at all.
Yeah, so now if you want to buy the shirts, you
Yeah.
can.
We did a changeover, and I had put them in there, and then they disappeared, and all this stuff. So, yeah. So everything's fixed, I believe, or we are working on fixing it. So if you want to get some sweet merch to wear to NAB when you meet up with us at NAB or Camp Mograph, go ahead and do that. Also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, mograph.com, and TikTok. There's lots of fun stuff on there. And we'll see you on the internets. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And again, thanks again, Rachel. And
Yes,
we'll be
thank you.
talking to you pretty soon on
Oh,
the
okay.
Slacks and on the
All right.
internets,
Okay.
and come to the
I
meetups.
see you.
Come to the meetups. Come hang with us IRL. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Come
yeah.
to come to NAB.
Yeah.
I don't suppose you got a ticket to Camp Mograph, did you?
No, I wasn't planning on going anyway because of the
Okay.
pandemic. So I didn't really like think. I only thought to book Hawaii super far in advance because I was going crazy. So it's
Yeah.
like returnable
You're gonna have
stuff. You know?
fun in Hawaii. You're gonna
Yeah.
have a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just need to get out of the box.
Yeah.
We'll send us cool
Yeah.
photos and greetings from
Yep.
Hawaii, and we'll be
Yep.
sitting here nerding out in front of our computers until camp at least. So
Yep.
we'll just live vicariously through you
Yep.
and your Don't forget those sunglasses.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
always pack them, so
Yeah.
definitely will.
I expect to see it now. That's like the thing. I'm gonna hold you accountable.
Or else.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. We're gonna get out of here though. Till next time. I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt.
I'm Rachel Brickel.
Have a good one.
Later, yo.